Hello and welcome to the skating lesson. I'm Dave Lees.
And I'm Jonathan Byer. Hello, Dave.
Hello and welcome to This and That. We are going to be discussing all things of the 2020 United States Figure Skating Championships. So if you are new or somehow not subscribed, please subscribe below and smash that like button to let us know that you like what we're putting down here. Even if you don't, just love us. And also,
make me feel better, please. Yeah.
Yes, validation. It's very important, just like all of the skaters. Okay. And also, figure skating brings all kinds, Jonathan. We have our friends, the Schumans. They're involved in opera and weight loss centers and politics and figure skating and all sorts. There are opera gays and there are pageant queens. And
yes.
When we were in Vegas, there is a big slot machine community. And one of our longtime viewers is, he has a normal job, but then he judges the band competitions, the DC with the buglers and all of that. And he, in his spare time, has a slot machine channel and also has a bit of a following that has been growing. And he has all sorts of giveaways and fans and things. So if you are into the slot machine world, subscribe to King Jason Slots and give him some love because he will give you love some back. He has a whole catchphrase, Jonathan. He makes a noise. He makes an E sound when he hits the jackpot. Like, we don't even know.
think we should support skating fans and all the things that they do respectively. I think that's great.
We have a very interesting fan base. I mean, there's the former escort from The Staircase, one of my favorite true crimes. He was doing all of our, timestamps for, a time. All kinds here. He was also on The Price is Right.
Today I met a conductor on New Jersey Transit. Skating fans are everywhere.
So last week I was skating I skated in a session on Saturday morning. I skate in a session on Saturday morning. And there is like a woman who's skating and there's like a young girl, and I felt like the young girl was like trying to assert dominance. Like when you're on a session, you can usually tell who the best skater is, and that person usually, like, there's an unofficial like hierarchy that is going on any session at any point in time. Like, who the best people are and you should get out of their way and whatever. And I felt she was like overperforming, and at the end when we were taking our skates off, the woman skating happened to be her mother, and they come over and they go, "Thank you for your videos." And I was like, oh,
that was for me, that show.
I didn't realize. Okay, all right. Like, I felt like the girl was just giving like extra hand gestures and arm movements, and I was like, that's a lot of energy for like mostly an ISI session. So yes, it's been a busy couple of days. Lots of skating, 2 events going on, lots happening. We're going to do a separate show for the Europeans tomorrow night to get all of our feelings out about that and to give that the proper attention that it needs. So I'm excited for Europeans. But yeah.
You made a really good observation, Dave, because we were actually talking about, with both of these competitions happening this week, we kind of had to prioritize as we went. Mm-hmm. And you were saying you enjoyed U.S. nationals a little bit more, and I thought you made a good point as to why.
Oh, because
here to share it with the group.
Sure, because I think that you peak mentally and physically, right? And in the U.S., we're a very nationalistic country, and it's very important. And most nationals are. You have to perform well at your nationals to obviously make the Europeans, if you were, in our case, it's 4 continents, the Continental Championships, and then the World Championships. And our skaters tend to peak for the U.S. Nationals, and then if they make the Worlds and they're in the running, hopefully there. But our skaters, you can tell U.S. Nationals is it. It is all about you. The drama, the tension is so much higher. The effort, everything going on is so much bigger at a U.S. Nationals. And even though the field is tougher and some of the skating that you see may be better at a Europeans or a higher quality, for me, the U.S. Nationals has more excitement, more pomp and circumstance, even though maybe Katerina Ryabova is a better skater than some of the ladies that we are seeing.
But like you're saying, sometimes they're going to let Europeans be their dip before Worlds.
Yes.
Where we are seeing everyone kind of at max capacity here.
Yes, like we saw some of the Sambo 70 girls falling about in a triple Lutz that was out of nowhere. And I don't expect that to ever happen again. It didn't happen at their nationals, but Europeans is a little blemish. It's not as important as the Grand Prix final, their nationals or Worlds. So
it would be like watching Russian nationals or 4 continents. Same kind of choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be into Russian nationals. So, but I love a four continents when it comes in February. I'm very excited and very glad. I wish that U.S. nationals and Europeans were like a couple days apart, but
For
it's
our own
not.
sanity.
It's fine. It is fine.
Yeah.
I still got my sessions in, Jonathan.
Okay.
I was at the rink. So, we got our edge class in. Lots happening. But
Very
I'm
nice.
skating on a session with some ISI skaters. And no shade to the ISI community, but the young recreational girls have not a clue what is going on. Okay, Jonathan, I'm working on my gold moves. I'm doing the accelerating crossovers so it's like a corkscrew pattern, and you do 3 slow crossovers, about 3 medium crossovers roughly, and then 6 to 7 fast, right?
Okay.
When you're doing this. And I'm like, and you go, like, you're starting, like, I'm a big boy, right? Like, by the end of this, you are huffing and puffing and, like, going fast. And this is when, like, the young girl is going to, like, turn around and then, like, stop dead in her tracks in the pattern as I'm, like, barreling towards her. And instead of getting out my way, she just kind of, like, stops and looks. And I'm, like, diving to the side not to kill her, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Tough.
The ISI.
You know what I used to do on a public session is like stalk the rink, go as fast as I could, backwards crossovers. Until I was about to set up the triple axel of your life, and then intentionally almost run into someone, which then botched my attempt. Do you know what I'm saying?
So Freddie
would get
Boudet,
everyone at the rink looking for what I was going to set up, and then I would be like, oh, I couldn't do it. Someone was in my way.
I bet they were in your way.
They were, but like the best I could have done was certainly not worthy of that kind of setup.
Sometimes the kids in the hockey skates think that it's funny to cut people off, and they love to do that. So today I was skating, and I was like going into something, and I could see the kid in my peripheral vision like wanted to cut across me. I don't know if he was just like an idiot or like, I don't know. Like it's almost like a magnet to you. Like you're gonna do something, you have your open space, and someone like they want to just get in there. And I was like, "Don't cut me off!" And like went into it. And I don't usually do that, and I don't like that. I don't like that people, but sometimes it's just.
Well, we had a couple of bumps happen, especially on the dance warm up here at Nationals.
It's a rough.
I mean, that's tough. Yeah.
So okay, we watched. For our See Alive viewers, will know we watched with Jane Ron and her mom, Ling, who was very intense. She was going over all of the things. I was like, oh, Jane, I would like to see your sectionals video. Please bring it over to me. The mom, like, brought over the DVD. Was like,
amazing.
Yeah. And
delivered it.
She was, like, showing us Jane's tape collection of her history as a good Chinese-American girl. We hit all the classics. Yellow River.
Okay.
Butterfly Lovers.
Excellent choices. Uh-huh.
And also, Jane's mom, good skating mother that she was, good tiger mother, used to bring her boombox to the public session at 5 a.m. so that Jane could run her program. And Jane was so sick of running her program that she would break her cassette tape. So the mom would start to make extras. So I loved all of this, okay?
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
just amazing. So, and then last night we watched the Nationals with the adult skating community. And
fun.
Remember our friend Nancy I was telling you about who broke her jaw because she got dropped in a lift, and on the operating table she asked her doctor whether or not she could, go back to skating, and he thought that she was kidding.
Yeah, that was what she was concerned about in that moment. Yeah.
That's called an adult skater, okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm back in that world, Jonathan. Like that level of crazy is like, and the funniest thing is since I got back on the ice, everyone's like, so you're going to compete at Nationals? It's almost as if it's like a heroin problem that everyone in skating is on, whether or not you're in any sport.
Okay.
So you're going to compete? And it's like, I've been skating for like 2 minutes. And everyone is like, you're going to compete at the Nationals?
Well, it would give you something to motivate towards, but you're motivated by your tests right now.
I'm motivated by I have a lot going on. I will compete, but I'm like, I don't know if April is a little too soon. I'm not one to put myself out there looking a little rough, like Vincent Zhou. Like this is not what I do, okay?
Okay.
But anyway, Nancy, who in the adult skating community is, she hurt her jaw. She's looking great.
Okay.
Plastic surgeon,
She got a nice one. Okay.
Got a nice one. She looks fabulous. Not supposed to skate until April at the earliest. Already back on the ice. Already starting some easy pair elements. Okay? I think it's great. Okay? It's...
I love that psychotic dedication.
We were with this girl named Miki, who's infamous as an intense pair skater. I could understand about 50% of what she was saying, but she did tell me, she's a pair skater. So they're like the ultimate adult skaters. They are the toughest. And I told my friend, I said, we were talking about you. I said, I have a friend that's an adult pair skater. Miki knew who you were. And he was like, oh yeah, she tried to steal me from my partner. I was like, we don't even live in the same city. So these women, like, they are so on top of it, Jonathan, okay?
Yeah, I remember hearing about all those, like, rented partners and all that sort of stuff that was going on in the community back in the day.
Oh, yes. I mean, when we talk about renting things, it's not just adult skating. Like, so Kristen and Igor, who have been giving me lessons, Kristen, I have my lesson on Saturday, then I take Igor's edge class. Like, I'm pretty sure Kristen's parents, like, purchased Igor. Like
from a catalog.
Like you go to Russia, like you like pick them out, right? Like that article about Tara Modlin in the New York Times from the 90s. Like they bought a Russian, okay? It's like a skating trade, okay? It is what it is. So anyway, it's all good, Jonathan. A lot of skating happening. So where did you watch the Nationals? Talk me through it.
Well, Dave, I'm such an old lady about it. I was having like NBC Gold problems left and right because there was a period of time where none of the replays were available during Nationals on desktops. And I don't want to watch on my phone or my iPad sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like I have my computer also hooked up to my TV, so I was trying to do it that way. And then I ended up going through the app. Let me tell you, I wish they had the thing like YouTube does where you could just rewind like 10 seconds or something like that, especially because they weren't always showing replays. So sometimes I wanted to see what had happened on a jump and you try to go back and suddenly you're like 4 skaters back because it's like that weird sliding scale. And also, like when I was watching some of the juniors of note, to get to the one you wanted, I had to look up what their skate order was because I don't know what they look like necessarily. I'm sliding it through. There should be some sort of chapter. There would be so many easy things, that could really enhance it.
Tom Puccini could do it all. He had all of this technology.
He could do it in like 2 seconds, but they'd have to care to do it. And a lot of
his daughter, who's like going to go to Oxford, he like taught her how to make the whole thing. He tried to show it to US figure skating. It went right over their heads. Okay, so
yeah, and instead they're making 2-minute videos about like your favorite breakfast food with Amber Glenn or something.
Excuse me, Amber Glenn, great short program. Not Tracy Chapman yet. We're going to get to her, but
yes, we will. Yeah,
I mean,
here's
the thing about the girls from Texas. They like to layer on the makeup, but they have this weird aesthetic where they go for like white colored foundation, and then they put the darker color, and it almost looks like clown makeup. And I don't mean that like I don't want to make fun of them, but this part of your foundation is not matching your skin at all, and like you look like a mime / So it's a very weird aesthetic going out in the Cain thing. I don't know who taught them how to do this makeup, but
because it's interesting. I thought the purple dress was one of the nicest things I've ever seen her wear.
Yeah.
But then she just that just one side of a line. Like it reminds me of Miss Piggy and Joan Rivers in Muppets Take Manhattan when they're crushing the lipstick and putting it on.
Rouge.
Yeah, rouge. So there you go.
All right. Well, let's start in by the selection committee. Jonathan, yes,
Here we go.
It is time to pick my girls for the team. Yes.
You need to watch a Barbie so you can also have a visual with it. Or just like a popsicle stick with it.
Girls, my skaters, my champions. It is time to pick the team for the World Championships.
Oh, Marta, Debbie's had Dorothy's had a rough day there. Her hair is a little.
3 husbands. She's gone through bankruptcy. She had her jewelry stolen. She had, Dino in the plane crash. I mean, the whole thing has happened. All right?
She's been through it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I tried to fix the hair the other night. It didn't stay. All right. I don't know what happened. Ugh. Now that Lisa Kritzer is going to be like, you're going to fix her hair. Did you get her other dress yet? Be like, stop it, Lisa. Anyway.
Amazing.
These are the messages we got. Anyway, so Jonathan.
True story.
Okay. So for the ladies, I think this is the only clear cut. They already picked it, and I agree with it. They are sending Mariah Bell and Bradie Tennell to the World Championships. Mariah Bell now, that the A-listers and the A-list Raphael students don't always go to the Four Continents. And the Four Continents is a big opportunity to get a medal at the ISU Championships and to get points. But we know Nathan is not going because he is in school and he's saving that body. And Ashley and Adam used to kind of forego the Four Continents from time to time.
For timing purposes also, which I can't say I blame them. When we were talking about peaking for Worlds, that is a fast turnaround for what has become a much more important event than I think it was previously.
And when you expend so much emotional and physical energy to do what you just did at the Nationals, oftentimes you will get sick or you will be tired or you just need a moment after the Nationals. And they're in Korea. Do you think that Mariah Bell has any chance?
Oh gosh, I didn't even think about that.
Did you notice, NBC didn't do a fluff piece on that? I'm sorry, and I don't mean to exploit someone's pain, but that if there is anything that is a newsy human interest story when you are just compared to Tanya Harding, that's the moment for the Mariah Bell fluff piece. That's the time that Mariah should talk about it. That Mariah should, even if she's just saying what happened last year was really unfortunate and it wasn't, and then you show her running and training and doing whatever, the fluff piece, Jeremy Abbott running in the snow, whatever. This is the moment.
But that's controlling the narrative. It's anything that's less than fairy tale. They don't want it.
Excuse me. I want all of the fluff pieces, okay?
No. We want it. I mean, U.S. figure skating is I'm sure.
Who wants the fluff pieces?
Circumvent it.
Law. Okay? These are the fluff pieces that Law would want.
Yeah.
Gracie buying Sudafed. Law is in it. Okay? Law would want to know that comeback story. We needed a half an hour documentary minimum, okay? We could have had Carly shoot it, job for Carly, get some comfortable scenes, talk it out, okay?
It'll be great.
She's a wonderful photographer. All right. Alysa Liu. All right. Do we not want to know the father? The father, what do the siblings look like? What does the partner look like? Who was the surrogate egg?
Remember, U.S. figure skating erased the partner.
They were whitewashing it. But Phil Hirsch did mention it. They're bringing the gay back in, okay? They're
because they're so far behind, they don't realize that actually that makes them so much more interesting to a modern audience, but whatever.
We see you, Lynn Plage, and we're bringing it back in. You're not controlling this narrative, okay? The gays have raised a figure skating wonder child, okay?
Let us enjoy it. Let us live vicariously. We've all thought about it.
Also, Christine Brennan had to Skype from the U.S. Nationals about Kobe Bryant. Think about how many people were first of all, awful, but second of all, U.S. figure skating is probably so relieved that Christine has another story to focus on. Over the next weeks, they're we got her on something else. Okay, right. So...
It's true. She'll have to shift her focus in a major way. Yeah.
It was interesting because when it was called, my mom was like, we're already watching Christine Brennan. She's on CNN every 5 minutes. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I bet. Oof.
So, yeah. All right. Sorry to make things a down note, but that did just all happen while Christine is at the Nationals and things going on. So, all right. So the fluff piece, we really needed a Gracie fluff piece. We need a Mariah Bell, and we need an Alysa Liu fluff piece. Okay, these are the ones I think that we're all craving. All right. So, and I think for Junior Worlds, obviously Alysa Liu is going to go. Who she goes with, I don't really care. I don't know about you. Do you have a strong feeling?
I'm sorry to say, but I was sort of in the same boat. I watched several of the junior girls and some of the younger ones here, and I thought, as you like.
Do you think Star Andrews should go?
Well, she was chosen. Okay, so they mentioned something about the junior camp.
There is a selection camp. Remember, that's where Amber Glenn had that whatever happened years ago. Yeah. Well. But they only chose. How many can they send? Because they said they're sending two people to the camp. So no, they have 6 girls that are going to the camp. There's someone from the Mitchell Johansson method, and yeah.
Okay.
And there are some juniors that could go or some seniors. I'm I'm not really invested in the second spot. I'm just
Yeah, because quite frankly, if you're a star, like, I don't know, does that help you in any way, or do you just
I don't
scrap
think
it?
at this point. So
If I were a skater in maybe Star's position, I would be eager to like let the season go. Let's start working on next year.
I think there's
right
a lot
now.
Star needs to work on.
Yeah.
And I think they need to make some changes. I think it's either if it comes from
100%.
them, like, but who, you never know, like, what is Star? What is the what is the change? But there's something that needs to change in that dynamic. And I don't think that Junior Worlds is going to magically make something better or start the ball rolling. It seems that there's...
But yes, if anything, I think maybe preparing for Junior Worlds puts the focus on trying to churn out something quickly instead of maybe reworking some stuff.
Yeah.
So.
But there's still a lot of talent inherently in Star Andrews.
Of course, yeah.
All right. But okay, let's get to the interesting discussions. Because the pair event, as always, barn burner. Okay? I was riveted by the pairs.
Yeah.
Okay? And I had a friend that was almost trying to film me watching the pairs because I was getting very into it. All right. It was
a pretty surprising comparing this event to the event in Detroit. I mean, for as scary as everything about that event was, it was intriguing how this played out. It kind of was a fascinating competition to watch.
All right. I've thought about this a lot. I think you saw, I tweeted about it.
You're talking about team selections in general?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would send Alexa and Chris.
Right, that's what
I would give them the opportunity if they want to go to 4 continents or not. I think that if they want to go for the points and the experience, that they should. But I understand that they were talking about Chris having a shoulder problem, and you kind of wonder, like, are there micro tears? A lot of these NCAA gymnasts will have tears in their shoulder, like Madison Koshin is competing on a torn labrum, and she has other tears. But if it's not torn completely through, you can still compete on it, but you have to kind of rest and touch and go. Now, they didn't say what his shoulder problem was, but my mind did go to what possibilities could be, right? And what likely. So if you have something like that where you're not going to repair it until later on, or you may choose never to repair it and just to kind of go because you don't know how the surgery is going to wind up with scar tissue or how long it's going to take you out, I would give them the opportunity to either go to 4 continents, not go to 4 continents, but I would send them to Worlds. It seems like they benefited from the extra training time that they had. Mm-hmm. So, but what would we do? We have 2 spots for the Worlds, 3 for 4 continents. So if the Knierims want to go to 4 continents, this is where I think it gets a little trickier. I would obviously send Jessica and Brian to 4 continents because they did such a beautiful job.
And not just because they did a beautiful job here, but it has been cumulative. Like, their showings were okay, and it wasn't like this was a total... I mean, the level was far greater than what they did in the fall, but it made sense that it was leading up to this. Now, it wasn't totally out of left field.
Now, we have heard that Danny O'Shea's dad is on top of things, running the show, as most skaters have a parent that runs the show. You know that Jessica used to be his partner, right?
Right.
And she was considered, like, not up to snuff at that.
And then the irony.
Right?
Oh, the irony. Yeah.
So we're sending them to 4 continents.
Yeah.
But for the 3rd spot, if Alexa and Chris go, who are you sending? Are you sending Cain and O'Shea or Cain and LeDuc?
I'm sending Cain and O'Shea.
Really? I'm sending Cain and LeDuc.
I've lost... I think it's 6 of 1, quite honestly.
It is. But let's talk it out.
Yeah, I think there are just such limitations. As I was watching, this was a particularly deep field for lifting and pairs elements in general. The lifts of everyone were really spectacular, and then Tim and Ashley's just don't compare. They just can't compare. Even though I believe Tara is a little bit dead weight in the air, Danny still gets her up in nice ways, and they maintain speed, and they have a better aesthetic in the lifts.
Who do you think has longer term potential?
I think they're about the same. that's why what I would not do is ever sacrifice Jessica or Brian. And I would not send Haven and Brendan.
I would not send them because
they're over here. But
Haven and Brandon, we've faked it for a long time.
Yeah.
Lovely program. Love the program. One of my favorites of the season.
Incredible. Best material.
But old program and can still only do one side-by-side triple and only sometimes.
Yeah. And that sometimes is a tough one.
But Tara and Danny, in my opinion, don't really have the skating skills. And though they are great performers, we've really maxed out in terms of what they can do. And it takes them all season to deliver this performance at Nationals. They peak at Nationals typically every season. Still only doing a triple sow that's very pre-rotated. A throw triple sow, very pre-rotated. They don't really have standout elements. And the double axel, and I don't see the potential. At least when I look at Ashley and Tim, I think they have a more international quality.
Look.
They have a better look.
Now that's interesting to me because, again, this season has been such a struggle for them.
It has.
So that's why I'm almost ready for them to just start anew. So, like, go work on some elements.
But
and
at
just,
the end of the day, if we're going to try to get 2 spots again for next year, / ever try to groom teams to get 3 spots. And you have a position.
You're talking about who you're going to.
The 3rd spot for 4 continents, which is important for points in terms of getting assignments next year.
Yeah.
I think I'm giving it to Cain and LeDuc. To me, they seem more committed. They withdraw from fewer competitions than Cain and O'Shea do. They are always injured, always withdrawing. I don't see the improvement from year to year to year to year to year. I mean, this is the same base technical content they did when they were with Jim in 2016 when they won the Nationals.
But did you see any improvement with Tim and Ashley this year?
I would say that they have.
I think they
added
missed
a
lift.
Yeah.
The twist is much better. Every time I see it, it's better.
I think that they had an uneven season.
She's had a lot of difficulty with those throws. The throw Lutz has never worked this
right. And I don't think that her parents are the best coaches. I don't believe that.
No, I don't either.
For singles or pairs, and I think that she is soaking up all of the oxygen of her parents from Amber, Glenn, and Jimmy. Like, I think that they are just there to pay bills and keep these people. I think I would still send them. Tim and Danny are both phenomenal skaters.
Absolutely. They should just skate together, and that's that.
They should. It's a tough one. It's a tough one for the 3rd.
But I'll tell you why. Because I kind of think they fill the same quote. Neither one of them are going to be real factors. I think they have limitations, and I think internationally, actually, if they were both to deliver clean, I still feel sometimes the judges may go Cain and will go Danny and Tara.
I don't think internationally they would, and I know that we're going to get like Carrie Griffin and Jim upset, but I just think that Tara's overall skating is weaker than Ashley Cain's.
And their material is quite weak. The Les Mis and the
bad Claire de Lune.
Claire de Lune and what I called a Lisa Frank Trapper Keeper dress. Like, I was like, get out of here with that. Like, it's just they used to have that Shaylin thing. They used to have better material that elevated their skating, and now they don't. And Cain and LeDuc do have a definitive style. I guess my point is what's really being accomplished by a 3rd pair.
Well, you're encouraging or discouraging depth. You are potentially risking, when you make this decision, that a team could quit, right? And
who do you think would quit?
I think when you look at Cain and O'Shea, if you're the parent that's funding the bills, at what point are you going to say, this is not
I think we're done here.
Up?
Yeah.
I think they've hit their ceiling. I don't think we have seen the triple toe. I don't think they've been forced to put it in. They talk about it every year, and for whatever reasons, I know there are injuries and things, but it has not been added to the equation consistently. And I feel like we're at the same base level. I don't see the twist being bigger. At least at least Cain and LeDuc make moves. They get Elton John in there. They're going for it. I respect that more. They're making the big moves, you know.
I think Danny is just the finest American pair skater we have, but Tim LeDuc is not far behind. I just feel he's like trapped in, you know, because of Ashley, he can't really let it out.
I mean, he'd be great with Jessica Calalang, but he could wear those tight pants, okay?
I mean, but Brian's doing just fine in his.
Then, would you necessarily send Jessica and Brian to Worlds, or would you let them kind of pull a Canada and say for the second spot, whoever does better at 4 continents?
Well, that's what I might do. That's what I might do. Only because we're concerned about the 2 spots. Now, in order to get 2 spots, we are required to have 2 teams in what placement?
You need someone in the top 10. Alysa and Chris.
Just one of them in top 10.
They need to get in the top 10, yeah. Wait, but that's for 1. Wait a second. Wait.
That's why I'm worried if there's 2.
There's 2. I forget how this works. Because 3, it has to add up to 13, right? So
because actually everyone's dealing with. You have Haven and Brendan with 2 bronze medals, but they're not going to hold it together. I feel you have Ashley and Tim, who feasibly have been. Well, they have been in the top 10. They're the reason we have the 2 spots, but they've not shown that they can do that. Maybe this year.
Yeah.
I don't trust Tanny and Dara. Or, you know what I mean, Tanny and Dara. And even Alysa and Chris, everyone is such a giant question mark.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Well, it doesn't have the qualifying rules on here, so I'm forgetting the number. Everyone's going to write it to us anyway. But at the end of the day, I am thinking that I would send to groom. I'm leaning toward. I would have them skate. This is what I would do. I would have them skate at the 4 continents, and I would add the 2 point totals together. That way, if you did better at the nationals, that is given potentially equal weight as if you did well at the 4 continents. And obviously nationals got you to 4 continents, so it still did its purpose. And then you add it together because both teams have had some weakness and weak outings, in my opinion.
Inconsistencies, yeah, totally.
And I would see what can you do at these 2 events. And it's not just for the Worlds that I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about building consistency of these
who you're promoting
teams.
Overall. Absolutely. I agree. So I think...
And I would like them to have to earn it with the point totals. That way, a team is not feeling jilted, right? Where they can look at, our point totals didn't add up.
Right.
I
mean, a couple of thoughts on that is I sort of hope that Alysa and Chris do sit out to rest and train and just heal, because then it does let us have this showdown with the 3 we kind of need the showdown with. But also it does remind me that, I mean, injury, whatever, to me, when the Federation decided to not send Deanna and Nate, the message was clear, it was over.
Yeah, I mean, she's smart, but
she's no nonsense and an adult.
Yeah.
And these other people could hold on forever.
I know. And the other people didn't want to see it, and they were but she got it.
Yeah.
And we still have, the ones that don't get it, we're in the same situation. There are some skaters that don't do well in the fall, and they don't get their act together until nationals. Look at Tomoki Hiwatashi. Look at...
I mean, that's going to be a whole nother discussion.
Well, let's discuss that.
Yeah, bring it up, because...
So Nathan, we know, this is easier because Nathan is not going to...
Which I think is a tremendously wise choice.
Yeah. And if Hanyu wants to go and nail it and win and all of it, more power to him. Exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you have Jason, Tomoki, and Vincent at the 4 continents.
Duke it out.
Do you send Jason automatically through to the Worlds?
To me, yes. To me, that's a solid second choice.
I think he did second here. Yeah, I think,
he just had he had one decent Grand Prix and one not. So
that is the only reason that I'm sending him directly through, because he did medal in the fall, and the other 2 were messy this fall. Both of them were messy this fall. Tomoki, inconsistent as the day is long. Bad material this year. Even Johnny was very shady about it on the broadcast. I was with some non-skating fans who were laughing at Johnny said, I think this music really gives an opportunity to see the weaknesses of his ability.
But it's true, yeah.
It's true, but that's something that should have been changed in the fall when everyone on God's green earth was saying that Tomoki had horrible programs this year.
Right. But yet, it wasn't the program that was making him a mess this fall. It was that the jumps were so inconsistent.
And the programs were bad. So
yeah, so we really had nothing, yeah.
And he's someone who he really needs. He's always struggled with the artistic mark and his consistency, but he does deliver in the second half of the year. This has been his pattern the last few years.
Yeah, because he did very well at Four Continents last year as well, after he did so well at Nationals.
Now, Jason, I worry about the pounding and the injury. Should he even go to Four Continents? Should they send it to Torgashev?
No. Yes, they should.
So you,
in my opinion.
In your opinion, Torgashev, Vincent, and... Because I worry about Jason's body and putting it out.
And it's more fragile. So he knows he didn't need a warm-up competition for Nationals to do this well. So just like Alexa and Chris let him...
But he did Zagreb. He did go and win.
Yeah, but that was a while ago.
I mean, it was the same weekend as Four Continents. I mean, the same weekend as Grand Prix final. So he did do something. But I still get that feeling with Jason that he's getting on the older side. I do want to see what Torgashev can do.
Yeah, and I don't know that Jason gets something out of doing another Four Continents. The program has the mileage. He has experience. I don't think he needs what a Four Continents experience could give him. Torgashev needs it. I want to see Vincent up against Tomoki one more time. Yeah. Because I feel for Vincent, the quad sow seemed so confident to me that I feel the second quad sow is right there.
I think Vincent will be better in a month. I do.
I think so too. And again, this is going to be about spots, and Vincent may have a bigger chance to get a higher spot than Tomoki might.
I think they both would get the job done potentially, but I think Vincent does have a better. I would bank on Vincent more.
Because of the fall.
I would have washed Vincent away and say you were fourth and Tomoki beat you and that's life if he weren't the world bronze medalist and if he didn't finish fourth and come back after the whole situation, knowing that he almost quit, comes back.
And he wasn't fourth because he bombed. No. He was fourth because he's quite responsibly easing his way back in. And again, the quad sow was of such a quality that I feel like the second quad sow in the program is there in a couple weeks, no problem.
So I would name Jason to the team, but hope that he withdraws and suggest it. And if he does withdraw, make Torgashev the alternate so he could go.
100%.
But I would give Jason the option because he was the silver medalist. But see what Tracy wants to do. Then for the dance, I'm just sending the top three.
100%.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get into these disciplines. Let's break this stuff down. Let's start with the ladies. All right.
Great.
All right, let's start
with
the
ladies and the girl. Yeah. Okay.
I know, Alysa. Poor Alysa. Let's start with Gracie Gold.
Yes.
So the practices.
Mm-hmm.
She looks like she's getting better overall.
Yes.
I feel Gracie looks like she's getting better. I'm judging this from an overall impression from practices, competition. I was really feeling very iffy about just the whole vibe, everything with Gracie here, for a couple reasons. When we saw
coming into it or during it?
During.
Okay.
When we saw her do the practices, she stopped those programs a lot. When we saw her nail that Firebird in 2016, she was doing full-long programs with Frank.
Right.
I believe that Gracie is someone who struggles under pressure and who needs those mileage in the bank. She still looks very winded, said that she was very winded, tired at the end of her short program, and slows down and doesn't really perform because she is so stressed and trying to conserve energy. I would like to see Gracie push herself and or have someone push her if she is not coming from within. If she really wants to do this comeback, I think that it's possible, but I think that she, in 2 years, to be amongst the best, even in a year amongst the best in the ladies, there's no reason why she can't compete with Bradie Tennell. But I think she needs to be with either her old coach Alex or maybe Victor Pfeiffer, but someone who is going to hammer herself to train like she needs to train. Run through sections, boom, get that body and that mind in full gear. That's kind of where I'm at.
I mean, what was impressive to me here is after sectionals, I was still like, I don't know. I don't know if this is, obviously she's going to do what she wants to do, but just as someone who would care about any other human being, I just hope she's doing it for the right reasons. I hope she's not rushing. I hope it's not going to be a traumatic experience. And she came here and she showed us one of every triple. She showed us that this is possible.
Yes.
Kind of how I was floored by Karen Chen over the summer, because I didn't really buy that it was going to be possible. And for the first time, I really saw her out there and I thought, oh my gosh, she could actually get all this back. And we've seen her kind of reclaim her own direction in it with getting rid of what's Vincent or whatever. Like, she's kind of created her own path that has ultimately made it possible for her to do this at nationals. And it was enjoyable. I'm ready for programs that aren't so weepy.
Yes, it's time for a new program. Even though that song has grown on me, even though the irony of
that song is so powerful, but
she doesn't perform.
Yeah, exactly.
She has a blank bored expression on her face as she's going through it. Anything that we feel during that program, I feel is like our own emotions that we attach to seeing her out there and what we think this means and everything. She's given us nothing. She's trying to survive, okay?
Yeah.
But it's a beautifully constructed program. The ending of the program, the second half, is really nice. The thing
That's Jeremy, right?
Yes, Jeremy Abbott.
Yeah.
The thing that gave me hope is that Gracie Gold, at her best, used to kind of give up and make more mistakes as the program went on, especially when it started falling off the rails in 2016, 2017. But even before, remember at the Worlds when she made the one mistake on the combination?
Even at that Skate America, she was doing great and then just...
So, she messed up in the beginning here. She popped a flip, and she can't, and then when you can always see when she still does. The thing that's a little bit about Gracie is that she cannot let herself do content that's easier and play it safe. Like, she has to plan the triple, plan the whole deal. The double axel Euler triple sow, which she never really was super consistent with the half loop combinations in the past. And I remember she went for one at her first Cup of Russia. And I mean, she can do them in practice, but under pressure has not been historically her thing. But she also hasn't attempted so many. But she's doing the two flips in the program and going for it. But she fought. And she did that triple flip double toe, came back with that triple sow, and she fought. And that made me think that maybe she really does want to do this. You know,
it was a totally different perspective for me watching her do this. Yeah.
Because, I think there's a lot of speculation that maybe she doesn't know what else she wants to do. But I think and it seems like Suzanne always says that success is contagious, right? Like, you got a little bit and then you want some more. And what I see from her is someone that didn't know what is really possible, right? But with each step, she gets a little more confidence and then works a little bit harder. After Russia, I think it took her a long time to get going again, right? Yeah. To really intensely.
To really understand for instance, like a Paulina, quote unquote, comeback that didn't make it out of sectionals. You're like, are we just quasi doing this or are we all in? And I really feel, having seen this, there is the potential for her to really do it, which means she must be thinking that too.
Now, the thing that worries me here, the interviews with Andrea Joyce. That is some dark shit that she in the mix zone. And she has a hard time finding words. I noticed that she didn't have before, but the stuff that she was saying to her, she was not giving the kind of media answers that are expected in skating, which is fine. We always ask for it, and then we could. But when you compare nationals to being in a plane crash for the second time, where are we going with this? Andrea's doing her best hoe to copy. She was smiling along, not sure where to not asking the follow-up questions. They are clearly
Right.
thinking like, we have the blonde girl who's troubled and we don't know what to ask here when
Right.
she is giving these responses.
Overly raw, vulnerable answers. Yeah.
But also like a little, she has a biting humor, but it's a dark humor at this point.
Right.
I just
Right.
worry.
Yeah. Well,
Let's
and
make
it
sure
must
that
be
Gracie
hard.
has the support she needs, U.S. figure skating, okay? Like, she is going through a lot on a big platform coming back, and there's, she's starting to get gigs, she's starting to be invited places, and let's just make sure.
But it's a little tough when every interview is going to be focused around this narrative of you're the sad girl.
Yes!
And
that's why you
then
gotta get
it's-
rid of the long program, right?
Yeah, exactly. Give us something joyous about you reclaiming something, even if it's a little, on the nose about it. Like, because what would be so great is to be like, I got help and you can get help too. And that's her message.
And that's
instead
where she's
of like,
not there yet, right? Like,
yeah.
that's...
And it's okay because maybe she's not ready to be
Yeah.
there yet. But it only continually feeds this, like, you're sad. You used to be the champion. She used to be you, and you're like, oh, God.
The short program dress, stunning.
Mm.
Long
I
program
wondered,
dress.
now, I think about this for singing, but I'm intrigued by those high necks because she had them in both.
I love a turtleneck.
You don't mind it, like, when you're moving and skating, though? Because these would be so stiff with all those jewels.
Well, mine wasn't stiff. I was in a Uniqlo
Well, that's what
shirt.
I mean. Yeah, it would like move with you. That would be elegant and nice.
Look, I always feel that anything that's on my body is like protective when you're out there.
A shield. Okay.
It's like being in the fetal position, right? You're like, I'm gonna die.
Okay.
Okay, you're very vulnerable out there. What did Peggy say? It's a very revealing sport, Jonathan. Okay,
Can be. Yeah.
All right.
Not in any of her dresses, but.
There was a lot of Gracie happening in the free skate dress, but I think it is nice. I think Brad really brought his A game for Gracie. I thought she looked great. So I think the short program dress, really, some of his best work. So, yeah, but yes, they need, and honestly, the Spell on You program, I still hate so much. So.
Yeah, and they're old, you know what I mean? But so maybe now she's ready.
Jeremy can make her another program, okay?
Totally, yeah.
Or, get her back to where.
Because you know what it reminds me of? Remember, I think even Mariah said this to you when she was like, David gave her Winner Takes It All.
I know.
And it was like, stop making everyone be sad because they experienced something sad.
Mariah, you're sad. Jason, you're Jewish.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is what we're throwing on you. And it's like, oh my gosh. Okay.
Do you know who did the program I was obsessed with last week? David Wilson. He is capable. He did that Emperor's Suite or whatever, the Beethoven.
Oh, the Emperor Concerto. Yeah.
Concerto. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Joseph.
So
yeah,
they can do it. It's there. You just cannot let yourself be molded when they don't know what to do. Don't let one of these gay men.
Wallowing the season after is not really the right artistic choice, probably.
Yeah, no. So if I can never hear Hallelujah again, that would be great. I'm over that song. I loved it.
Amen.
When it happened. And, I used to think about that song all the time because I lived by the Marble Arch stop in London. And I used to hear that in my head when I would go out of the tube station and see the Marble Arch. And I'd be like, oh, Rufus is singing. But now
Hear it now. Yeah, okay.
That was 13 years ago. All right.
Right.
We've moved on.
Skating.
So, all right. I think she did a good job. Karen Chen.
Good for Karen Chen. You know what? For Karen Chen, this was a win. Yes. I think.
But can we have her working with Arashev and like fixing that Lutz? Like the Lutz that goes and rotates so she has so many good qualities.
Oh, well, and that's the thing. When you come back to seeing her, you're like, oh, right. Mm-hmm. You are really good. Sometimes I forget that, like, even among all these women, the Alysas and all this sort of stuff, you're like, nobody spins like you. Nobody has that natural spring in that step. She can't hit an ugly pit. Well, maybe she can't.
Artistry gets more and
stunning.
more. Her artistry gets better every year. More heartfelt, more musical. She gets it more. That Lutz remains the same.
Right. Yeah.
Has been successful.
Right. It's the Tanya triple toe, triple toe.
Yes.
It's that enormous first triple toe that never allows for anything else. So plan something else then.
Yeah. Triple flip, triple toe. Maybe that will help you, Karen.
Yeah.
But
try quad lutz. I don't know. Do something.
But I do think that if she's going to take that gap year, do it. Do it. Yeah, But it's interesting because we're also in a place right now where Bradie, Mariah, and Alysa have really solidified themselves here. So if you have a great talent like Karen or even Gracie, if it all goes right, it's still going to be you're going to have to disrupt a status quo in order to get in there. The ideal situation is that Mariah and Bradie get 6th and 7th and get 2 spots. It's close. It can happen, but I wouldn't bet the farm on it. And that would be great for someone like Karen. I still think she seems to want to do it, right? Like it seems to be coming from within because she could have easily gone to college and had a rough couple of months in the fall and then given it up. And
But another one who, like in that NHK short program, might have not realized what was possible. Mm-hmm. Or that she actually could do this. I mean, then of course she botched that long, but the idea that the judges are still there with her.
Yeah.
The judges are like, no, we remember you. We still totally are into your skating.
Yeah. She has the goods. She landed jump triples on the wrong foot. Not going to get you there. Like, I mean, she should not have been 4th in a normal field. But these ladies all decided to pop. We have a bunch of people who cannot do the long program. Interesting to see what's happening with Karen. You wonder, is she doing better because she was away from the school she got away from it, then she gets back to it. Is she just going to revert to old habits? But whatever they do to figure it out, I think she should try, especially if they get the 3rd spot.
Yeah.
God.
If the goal is to get to the Olympics again, that's the part that I'm like, that's going to be tough because you're going to have to bump one of those 3 ladies ahead of you out. And I don't know who it would be.
What happened the last time you went to the Olympics. I'm still not over that. Okay,
right.
Like whatever. Although she hasn't had a boot problem since. Just saying.
Well,
boot problems
after it really
for years.
Went down at Worlds, yeah. And she was young, you know what I mean? Like she made an error.
Error, has learned from it, so...
Yeah, she's keeping her mouth shut about it now, so... But an exquisite skater with great programs and tremendous qualities.
All right, now what about Amber Glenn? All right, Jonathan, great short program. I would have put her first, okay?
Oh, stop it.
No, I'm not kidding.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, it was good. Here's the thing.
She is a better skater than Bradie Tennell. At her best.
Yeah, but did you find her? There's something. The thing that's so satisfying about Bradie's jumps in a short program is that they are so undeniably clean and crisp, even if not exciting. Like I actually thought everyone's talking about Amber's jumping ability, and it's clear that she has this jumping ability.
She's a Tanya. Those are big. Okay.
I know, but I actually thought some of them in the short were lower than I was used to from her.
I think Amber was controlling it in the short.
Okay.
Here's the thing about Amber. I feel like you've been doing this for at least 4 years. It feels like 17 because skating, these years, they rack up. We can't remember how old any of you are. We feel like we've seen you forever. Amber keeps making these errors in the short program. We keep doing these Scott Brown programs.
The material, and I think what she has shown here is that she is capable of connecting to a program. Now, less of the singer-songwriter, emo-y stuff. We've already had that whole conversation.
Right. I've decided where she needs to go.
Okay.
You know where she would fit in perfectly? Lee Barkel.
Oh, okay. Wow. Oh, God. If that doesn't push Gabby over the edge, I don't know what would.
Whatever. She could train with Satoko, train with Vincent. Vincent seems to be working with Lee. She could work with Lori Nickel or work with a myriad of the wonderful up-and-coming gay choreographers in Canada. There's Joey Russell, there's Tyler, there's even Eric Radford. All of these talents there that could work with her and do something better than the schlock we see from her year after year after year.
Well, because it solidifies you are the company you keep. So when these sort of people that are stuck middling...
And she's middling with Jimmy Ma, the king of middling. Okay.
Well, and they're all middling with the same resources. So maybe they're middle resources, those choreographers, those coaches. I don't, you know.
Ashley Klein clearly reads like a pageant girl who soaks up a lot of oxygen in the rink, right? I mean, she's coached by her parents. It's all, you know, it would be hard not to, right?
She likes the spotlight. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's an intense skater. She wants it.
Yeah.
I think Amber needs to be in an environment with some people who aren't settling or middling. Like, you need to go for this. If
and
you're
also
do
where
it,
she's not the top female single skater.
go to Ravi Walia. But if you don't want to be in Edmonton by yourself, I think... I'm sorry, couldn't you see Amber with Gabby Daleman and Sachiko and Vincent? Like, I could see her in there. Jimmy Ma could go, too. He could... Listen... He's hanging out with Kolya at Hackensack, though. He's a Hackensack boy at heart. Okay. He really is.
I mean, but there's something there that's yet to be tapped. And it may be an Agnes Sawatsky situation a little bit where there's
what are the
something
run-throughs
there.
like? You know, she said something about doing a jump 11 times and, you know, but how many run-throughs are you doing? Are you doing the section work? What is the consistent training like every day? What is this?
And talking about more, I'm so sad, I'm so sad. When your music start to finish is one long whine fest, and then your program's not going well. Like,
imagine if Amber Glenn had a Shea program.
It would be like a fun, sexy,
sassy, yes.
Thing. And then I got to tell you, if the jumps start going wrong like that in Milan, the music and the mood is going to take you out of it and snap you out of it. This stuff only makes you indulge that sadness. You're like, now I'm singing Gravity, and it's going terribly, and like blah blah blah.
Yeah. Oh my God. I want her with like a bob, edgy Robin singer Swedish haircut, given this
100%.
like looking like Karina and Joe skating to Annie Lennox. All right, like this is the kind of Amber Glenn vibe we need out there. She needs a glow up. She needs excitement.
And there's a fan following for her there. It's interesting to hear the crowd, especially when I was relying on it from watching.
We've got to get the Texas pageant out of her. It's like an epidemic. It is so bad.
I got news for you. As someone in the pageant world, that doesn't fly in the pageant world either, whatever that is. Like,
but there's a lot of pageanty stuff happen. The look, the stuff. It's just,
it sells herself short.
I mean, unless Monica from Cheer, if she wants to train at Navarro College and Monica has like an hour a day to get her to train, does Courtney Hicks not remind you of Lexi from that show? You're laughing because you haven't seen it.
Courtney Hicks. I'm laughing. No, I'm just laughing because
Have you watched Cheer yet?
No, I'm in an opera and I'm watching 800 hours of skating. When am I supposed to watch Cheer?
With that German boyfriend who could be like,
what is this?
What is this? Is it Texas?
Was ist das?
He seems really fun. Okay. So anyway.
Viel Spaß.
He's very nice, but I'm just, you know.
Very elegant. Very talented.
Very elegant, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Okay. So anyway. Oh my God, Jonathan! The skater is just coming out of me. Okay.
Yeah, I can tell Dave has been skating again.
Oh my God, I was skating.
Skating people.
I was skating yesterday, and I was like, I'm gonna nail these gold moves because my old coach. So I skated on Tuesday night, and my old coach Natasha was there, and I haven't taken from her.
Too fat to jump.
She wasn't wrong. Okay, I got what she meant. If I want to do my doubles. We just gotta lose like that little bit. I understand. She's Russian, okay? Their standards are like
cultural.
Standards are like Speedo standards. I get it, Natasha. Okay? I had the stuffing and the pie on Christmas. All right. I understand. It's okay. All right. So, even though I've been working my butt off, okay. So, but I have been doing the stuff. You know, we're working with Kristen Fraser. And I've been doing like ready to go. And I was working those gold moves. We got through all my gold moves. And then because I took the day off on Friday from work, and then I skated. And then I went on Saturday, had my lesson, and we started the intermediate moves. We work on those twizzles. And this girl goes to me, she's like, you had your nasty nationals attitude on. She's like, it was fabulous. She was like, I was like, that's right.
It's in the air. It's in the air. You can't fight it. Yeah.
All right. Okay. We are.
But having not been live in Greensboro, although I went in 2011 to Greensboro, that's the last time I was there.
Do you miss it?
You could hear the crowd going for Amber Glenn. They are rooting for her. Mm-hmm. She has.
We were rooting for you. How dare you?
Exactly.
Learn something from this.
The support is there. The support is there.
She needs to do. You didn't get the Tyra reference at all, but it's fine. But she does need to do the long program, and I think we need to change something. And if Vincent can come back and listen, let's make Lee Barkel happen and Ravi. All right, let's get some people. Okay, so. She doesn't look like one of the Mitchell Johansson method girls. The Boston girls have a certain look to them.
No, the way she buckles under pressure is completely different than the way every single one of those skaters buckles under pressure.
They get lost in their triples and stuff. It's a different...
They are tight and anxious, and Amber seems doughty.
Doubt.
To doubt herself, I mean. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so... Star Andrews. Good short. But more of the same. Terrible program all year.
Yeah. Hasn't changed. But that's why, again, she could benefit, in my opinion, from just starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Like, instead of trying to continue out more of this season.
Yeah.
Just let it go and start.
Let it go, let it go. No, Emily Zhang, I thought was pleasant. Okay? She has something, it's like a slow and steady thing going on here. There was one skater I'm getting the results because I don't want to forget one name, that there was someone that stood out to me that I thought was nice. And I'm in a nice mood, so I'm trying to give props.
So everybody just buckle up.
Doesn't happen every day, okay? I'm trying to figure. There was one program, and I was like, I liked this girl. Who is she? They could make it easy. Okay, here we go. Championship ladies. Free skate. All right. Maxime Batista, not the girl I'm thinking of, did a good job. Who is she? Was it Sarah Jung that I was liking? I can't remember the girl. I am so sorry. This person, obviously she can't be that
What do you remember about her? Do you remember a dress? Do you remember music?
No, I remember nothing. I'm sorry. It was a lot happening, but
maybe it was just a dream.
Is it a dream?
Are you talking about Alysa Liu?
No, I'm not talking about Alysa Liu. But anyway, all right. Okay, so Bradie Tennell. Jonathan, we have to be honest about something.
Okay.
Bradie is very pale.
She is very pale.
Looks like she hasn't seen the sun ever in her life.
Hashtag Kimmy Schmidt. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why do they keep getting white dresses? Why do they keep getting white dresses? And then fake flesh cutouts that don't match your skin? Like, the fake flesh is like 17 orangey shades different than I'm so distracted by her bad packaging. And it seems like every time they get a new dress, there is something new wrong with it.
Well, I mean, you mentioned Mrs. Claus. I thought it looked like Annie for the short program. I mean, here's the thing. They're doing something different choreographically and trying to give her an identity that way. And you know what? They're making an effort, and I appreciate that. But it is funny that it seems to miss
the mark
on the dress sometime. Go to Jeff Billings. Like, glam yourself up.
Well, he's dead. But
I mean, who's designing like the
Lisa McKinnon, Matthew Carone? They are the killer.
Jeff Billings is 100% passed away. That's what I was talking about. Alexa's girl,
Lisa McKinnon. Okay,
Lisa McKinnon. I'm sorry, but which also
she gets the good funding. She's in the good envelopes. So
you're worth it. You're worth it.
I know. Look, they claim to spend money on choreography, but. I mean, okay.
Well, they did for the short. I think that they have made a step forward from when she's come with the short.
It's a struggle for me. It's a real struggle. I have to be Okay.
Okay.
And I feel bad because I feel bad about it, Jonathan. It's like when I'm watching the Canadian ladies, when I feel guilty that I don't like your skating, and I know that you work hard, and I feel like you look like a nice girl and you work hard, but it just misses the mark constantly. And all the other girls from her rank, they all have the chicken arms that go on in the jumps, and they all kind of miss the mark in different ways. So I don't know if it's Denise's fault or Jeremy's fault, but there's some packaging vibe that's just off in that taste level. That's just not happening.
It's just not firing. Yeah.
It's not firing. Okay.
Yeah.
They seem consistent-ish, but
because then it was very noticeable when then suddenly outskates Mariah Bell.
yes.
And there's someone whose packaging is right on point.
Oh my God. Oh God.
I mean, yeah.
The short program
she had. But even when Bradie has skated as cleanly, that long program could never build the same way.
No. And Bradie, I know that we say that she's super consistent, but have you noticed over the last 2 years, her jumps get kind of tight in the second half? And her jumps got tighter and tighter as they went along here. And that flip is often under the triple flip in the second half.
And I was a little bit perplexed by the loop fall. If this was like a nerve situation about having gone clean until then. But if you look, she kind of does have these like Zen focused moments before her jumps. And before the loop, she's a little bit more frantic in that transition. And maybe something about that kind of frenzied entrance or something does that to her.
Why the loop at the end? That's such a weird jump at the end for me. I don't know. That's not how I would dream of ending a program. It's like one of the trickier jumps. And with your double axel, Bradie, let's be real about this. So, I also don't see her ever getting a triple axel. I just can't picture it. There's so many...
Are they talking about it?
Yes, they said that she worked on it with Mishin until she hurt her back, but I kind of think about the repetition.
Listen, I think if she could, she would, because I think she is an outrageously dedicated, hardworking skater.
Yes.
So I think if her body let her do an extra element, she'd have it by now.
Yeah, I mean, she's going to try it. She's going for it, so I respect that, but...
Yeah.
Listen,
I would see a quad toe from her before I would see a triple axel, I would think.
I know. I think they have to call in the big guns for her dresses. Like, they do. They just do. Someone that's going to spend the time, and also have your costume designer talk to you about your music and what you want to do and the whole deal.
Yeah, what's our takeaway here? Because again, I get the short. I don't mind the short. I understand what they're trying to do, and it does have a point of view. It just, the dress so fights that.
And I feel it's not maybe the design of the dress as much as the shade. If it was a deeper, darker red, it would look lovely on her.
Yeah.
This color, this cherry fire engine-y red, was a lot for the senses, in person and on TV. But a little bit deeper, darker red would look nice. It's like there's always something a little off with her dresses. In the last one at the Grand Prix final, it was like the cut of the waist and I don't know. It's a lot happening.
But she to me seems the most like generally reliable. But that's someone.
But is that because she's boring? Because she makes mistakes.
She does make mistakes, but to less a degree than Mariah might make a mistake.
But Mariah's been good this year.
She definitely has been. This is a new Mariah. But so now
Thank
our
you,
perception is completely
Ensu.
changing.
Thank you to Ensu and all of Korea. Like, they lit a fire under her behind. And Adam said that he has been training her. Listen, Mariah Bell was off and nervy on a lot of those jumps in the free skate. And she fought for every single one of them.
Yeah.
With that hair and the short program. The most gorgeous camel spin in all the land, okay?
Lovely, such beautiful skating, just nonstop. And that program was constructed in the free to build exactly that way. Mm-hmm. Like, even if the jumps were a little shaky, but she was kind of doing it, there are programs that, even when you see them in the beginning of the season and they don't go right, you know that it's built into climax. Like, I thought that about Peng and Jin. Mm-hmm. Like, you see, even though they've not necessarily been delivering clean freeze, you know it's constructed in a way that should they ever basically go clean, it would become like a huge moment. And that's what Mariah had. It was incredible. And then for Alysa to follow it was impressive that Alysa did.
I would try to cheat for Mariah so hard. because I
know.
appreciate her
I think
skating.
the numbers just made it too hard. I think they probably still tried to help because there was almost a 20-point technical lead, I think. But then,
I'm sorry, but Alysa Liu getting components in the mid-8s? Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
what crack are those judges on? And I know it's nationals and it's a moment and she's our golden girl. And I'm sorry. But
well, but see, I'm interested to talk this out, Dave, because also when you put on the Marta voice, what is Marta saying here? Does
Marta is saying that Alysa...
Does she think Mariah has as much potential at the Olympics as Alysa does?
She thinks that if we are giving Lisa points that she does not deserve for the components, we will not be seeing the improvements that we need to see, the necessary work. And when you go 8.3, 8.32, 8.6 for the composition of the program and the skating skills, it is not going to get the result that we want from our girl, okay?
But doesn't it seem to you that they are taking that improvement seriously by even going as far as to have Lori sit with it? Like, I don't feel like...
I could sit next to many girls that I do not, get all of the improvements, but the work is just beginning for Alysa Liu, okay? I messed up the word beginning, but... It's
a hard thing to sustain.
I haven't heard her voice in a while, so I need to watch different things. But one of my favorite.
But I mean, I don't think they're going to bail on those kinds of improvements because even on the Junior Grand Prix, she's struggling as a result of those.
She lost to a girl who did no quads.
Yeah,
and she went for everything, and it was a deserved loss. So I have to say, Alyssa's triple axels look way better. Way better.
But come on, that quad Lutz was
double under, okay?
Yeah,
double carrot.
That was just a Karen Chen Lutz, triple Lutz.
Listen, she rotates a ton of it on the ice. It's first of all, it starts with a bad pick. It's like crunched in. She rotates it on the ice, and then the blade moved a hell of a lot on the landing. My opinion, it was a double carrot. They only give her one. She is our golden girl. At the end of the day, she probably would have beaten Mariah, but I have to say for the components, I really would have given her in the 7s and felt like
even then, because of that technical advantage, Alyssa still may have taken it.
Right.
Even if you took away about all those points.
Well, when you take away points on the lots, and then you take away points on... Yeah. So... But she's a great skater and champion and girl and went out there and fight, and I appreciate that about her. So 100%. She has a lot of good qualities, okay?
Yeah, and I think it's why it's important that we follow that Russian national system and let people on the junior circuit compete here, because that's where much more is being learned every time out. Her to follow a performance like Mariah's response at nationals and for her to deliver,
but to only get half a point less in components after Mariah Bell, and then
I know, but I just mean for her experience of nerves and just competitive mindset, which seems so solid. And
I'm talking about the individual components in some of these that she was like a half to it. I mean, in some of these, yes, Mariah was getting 9.7 but I mean, Alyssa 8.5. Are you kidding me? Lovely skater, but nowhere in that stratosphere yet. So, I mean, but developing and improving, and it is.
Well, like you say, a national win gets her a bigger envelope.
It does. So
for her to pay for more time with Lori, to go to all these other people.
She has time before the Junior Worlds, so work, honey, work on those Lori quadrilles. So. Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens with her. And Junior Worlds is going to be, the preparation for her is going to be insane, because she's against these Atari girls who take this event very seriously. So the jump for her from junior to senior won't be so shocking, because there's already so much of a focus on her and so much of a focus on these other girls and how they're matching up. Mentally, she's already under such a microscope that I don't think going to senior in the Olympic year will be such a out-of-body experience jump for her. So, yes, that is what I think, and I'm sticking to it. All right? All right. How about the ice dance, Jonathan?
Okay. I am excited because I have been thrilled by this pairing of Green and Parsons since we saw them like in August or whenever that was at Lake Placid, everybody from Ice Dance Show Up event. And I think their free dance material in particular is incredible. I am completely thrilled by it. In 2020, in the climate of U.S. figure skating, their age gap and relationship with one another does strike me as unsettling at times.
Are they romantically paired?
No, I'm not saying that, and I am not speculating. It's just like the idea, and there's such an idea to make this 16-year-old girl look like a woman.
And they've known her forever. But listen, Michelle Kwan dressed as a biblical whore when she was Salome.
But a 16-year-old biblical whore.
15-year-old.
Well, but Salome was 16, I think. Who knows? But okay. It's just, I don't know. But the free skating, I think they have tremendous qualities. I'm really excited to see them move forward because they're experiencing that dance thing where I felt they were underscored a little bit all season because they were new. I do see them moving forward, and they interest me much more than Ponomarenko or McNamara. I don't know why.
McNamara and Carpenter, I think, are not as good as Green and Parsons, and I see the potential in Green and Parsons. It's a better just match. I don't see the it factor in Carrera. And his names Carpenter and McNamara, Quinn and whatever. Okay, the other team from Maryland.
Then Carrera and Ponomarenko, but also
Carrera and Ponomarenko. Anthony has really improved and gotten so much better,
especially.
But I don't think his partner is skating at the same level. They were doing their flamenco program, and I have to say, I didn't love her lines in any of the movement to really get.
It kind of fell flat a little bit. I mean, it came alive like the final 15 seconds, and
he
has some real flair.
It's just not where it needs to be, and he is looking quite good. And I was wondering, is Avonlea Nguyen's partner, does Vadim Kolesnik, does he have citizenship? Because if he doesn't, Igor is probably wondering if he needs to pair those two together. If this is going to be.
Because this is interesting, and we've talked about this. If they're eligible for the Olympics and all the citizenship checks out, I see them as the third team.
Yes.
I see them going right past.
I think Kaylin Hawaii sees it too. Okay, so
yeah, I think so as well.
But I do see improvement in Ponomarenko. I think he's a strong dancer. That said, I don't think he can hold a candle to Evan or Zach. Or, he's got a long way to go, but I do see that he's stronger. It's hard. Jean-Luc is so talented, but there's a lot of program on him. I see still sloppy mistakes with Caitlin and Jean-Luc. They did improve a lot for the Nationals, but they've had a rocky...
There's a ceiling there, and I mean, it sounds like an old conversation, but nothing about it has changed.
Yeah.
And so, but I'll tell you what, my favorite thing is when they'll show him at the end of the warm-up just doing those huge edge exercises, and you just see it, and you're like...
He'll be a great coach one day, okay?
That is incredible, but like also may be the case, that great coach that may never have gone to the Olympics, who probably always belonged there. And it makes you think, with Fear and Gibson, you're like, just go to Britain. Just go skate there. Have like two strong ice dance teams that
they would love it. They would do all the political maneuvering. Okay.
I was like, yeah, you want to go to the Olympics, you can.
Well,
but I don't know.
I know it's
too bad because I think the writing's on the wall there.
The USFS would never release them at this point for that. They would make them wait years because of the money that's been put into them.
But they also have to know that they need to look out for themselves because I think Nguyen is going to be the one who goes.
Oh my God, there's a girl that coaches at Palisades that competed ice dance against Hubbell and Hubbell, Chock and Zerline, all these people. Piper with McKernan. She doesn't have fond feelings for any of them, okay?
Sounds about right, yeah.
Okay. I think she was up there, actually. But anyway, she was saying that her Russian... anyway, discussions for another time.
Okay. Patreon.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, okay. Just to know that some of the drills that these girls get, inappropriate. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about the real.
Yeah.
Chock.
Which is a great high-end consignment store on the east side. The real. Okay.
Chock and Bates against Hubbell and Donohue. Okay.
Yes. You want to break it down by discipline or like by category or just in general?
When Hubbell and Donohue were sitting to get their marks, did you not find that the vibe they were giving off was unappealing? Jonathan, it reeked of so much arrogance, and we have seen dance teams that have been rather PO'd in the past, and I like the competitiveness, but I have to say Zach's body language when they were sitting in that chair and he's man-spreading and like looking ticked because he knows.
Oh my gosh, when he was man-spreading in the baseball outfit and that kiss and cry the whole time, I was like, he's got to know exactly what he is doing right now.
He gives off that vibe. I find that they don't listen about their material and that they get so much feedback that people don't like it. And
But do you think that's them or do you think that's also the team?
I think it's them.
Because
people say that people that talk to their parents, and both of their parents are very active on social media with different fans, they don't see it, whether it's the costuming, whether it's the program music. I think it's just a taste.
They're kids. They're not supposed to see it. I mean, it's understood that they're blinded. That's why they're not a biased opinion on it, but or a non-biased opinion on it. I'm curious about the Marie-France, Patrice, Romain, like all of that sort of what they think about the material, because they keep revamping. They don't seem to want to bail on the concept.
So do you think they went for the rock piece because they were like the edgy team? They had the edgier free dance at the Olympics?
So here's what I'm going to say. But that edgy free dance was cool and smooth and elegant and sexy and amazing. When this one starts, now I know we're not fans of that, like country, whatever that is.
Or the style of skating. I think it cuts off. I don't think they have an emotional connection. And I don't think the audience or judges have an emotional connection with that music. I think that is the biggest sin.
Yeah. Well, and I think it starts at like 100 miles an hour, that music. And so it almost seems like from the beginning, they're trying to catch up and live into this big music that's almost happening too soon in a frenetic way. And then it's kind of unrelenting. It switches from one loud, intense thing to another loud, intense thing to another loud, intense thing. And then by the end, you're just like, it felt like an onslaught of it, where again, the Chock and Bates one is crafted to build and have that audience response like it did. The audience went bonkers for it.
Yeah. And like Marie-France, even if Chock and Bates don't have as big, powerful skating as Maddie and Zach, they find a way to make it work. When Marie-France was skating, people will tell you she was, not the best skater, but she had the exotic look, the belief in herself, the charisma, she sold it like nobody's business. And this
is the thing, because we've talked a lot, comparing even the two Madisons. I think Madison Hubbell is so sexy when she skates because there's this powerful thing that she does that's so amazing. Now, Madison Chock, I was always kind of like, meh, flats of the blade, meh, the skating. But that girl can't hit an ugly position.
I'm sorry. When she moved and got her glow up going to Gabois after the years of the boring Igor programs.
It worked. But here's the thing. When you go back and watch this free dance, Dave, I think she puts her blades on the ice twice.
That's by design, honey. Okay.
I know, but it's so brilliant. But then it's that thing where really go back, because I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of them now. I'm a huge fan of the material they're putting out. I'm thrilled that they won. But when you really look at it, that girl is not skating. Now, what she is doing is holding her core together. She's creating these incredible positions. She's flailing around. But each time her blade touches, she had both the balance check in the rhythm dance, and I thought she kind of had a situation at the end of the twizzles, but the judges didn't seem to think so. In the free dance, they're doing it just right. But when you really go back, and we used to play this game with Ashley Wagner's short program. Mm-hmm. Go back and watch, was it Sweet Dreams? No, Hip Hip Chin Chin, like in its 18th iteration. And she literally just skates on 2 feet like that, and for like a solid minute.
Excuse me, did you see Madison Chock's eye makeup?
For the free dance?
Yes.
Oh, I thought everything about the free dance was killer. It's like an exotic Klimt painting she's wearing.
Did you look at the dress like in detail, Jonathan?
It just reeks of money and elegance and class and exoticism and everything I want from an ice dance.
Who cares about the rest?
Yeah.
When it's that like.
Totally.
I know we joke. We talk about some. I mean, some of their elements are so incredibly good in the free dance. The points that they get from the lifts are things that just Hubbell and Zach do not have the same extension. She wears the Adea boots. They do the positions. They don't have the same extension.
Their strength is in the edge and in the knee. But like Evan and Madison,
she's a classic Igor girl where they have all the lifts. You know, they get the spin points. They get all those elements are their strengths. Now, I have to say about Hubbell and Zach, they are really in the narrative, and I feel like they're being a little bit of a type A personality. And I get it, because I'm one of these people. We have a hard time when we lose. We have a hard time just being like, I lost. But we have to talk it out and explain it and be, right?
Justify it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you talking about that, where they came out of the thing wrong and mirrored? Yeah, I didn't understand.
They are veterans, okay? You either go along with it or you add a 3-turn and you are all of a sudden back to where everything is. Because this happens in practice. You don't always exit your spin in the appropriate way. Now, did they skate away and then not realize they were moving? But, I mean, it's an adjustment you could either make, or wasn't there times that your coach sometimes should or does have you do the program facing the other way? Because you always wind up facing the same way when you do your program, and then when you go into another arena and you try to do it a different way, you're like, the judges are here, what am I doing?
Just combobulated. Yeah, totally.
So this is something where you think that they would be so seasoned at this point. They've been ice dancing forever. They're not young, okay? I found that to be a very strange quote, okay? Whether they did come out and then not realize it, whatever it was just very strange that they either didn't just come out of the element and fix it, or...
Well, and as if that was the whole reason. Do you know what I mean? I don't know that the audience response between the two had anything to do with if they mirrored a section. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it was just... To me, I don't think the material was their best. At the end of the day, it was just not the best song. The music in ice dance plays a big part in an emotional reaction.
Or the right mood, the atmosphere. And when in the past, when they have created like an expansive, sexy atmosphere that doesn't come across in these, and I'm sure they'll find their way back. I mean, because it worked.
But they're coming against 2 years of material that has been...
But in totally different ways.
Yeah.
If we're being actually honest, like the Romeo and Juliet was a miss. But this wasn't a miss in the same way the Romeo and Juliet was a miss. So I think they tried something different, and they're like, nope, this ain't it either. Now they'll try something else. I don't know,
but the Marilyn Monroe miss is a third miss, and then her coming out in that big coat, and that to me, she's giving
that's when it becomes a bit that becomes kitschy. Community theater.
You know, like when you get a Broadway character actress or someone that's becoming a character actress, and you see them in one thing, and they seem kind of brilliant and fun, and you see them in another thing, and they just seem annoying, right? Like it's that kitschy thing that...
Yeah. They've got the one thing they're playing, you mean?
And you're like, you really think you're Marilyn Monroe, girl? You know, and then going from Marilyn to the Smash, when you could just do... It's a strange edit. I worried about Marie France with that edit. I'm like, what? How did that get out of Gabois? Like, you are such a person of taste sometimes... And this is a really strange music edit.
Well, that My Heart Belongs to Daddy, and then there's something that goes on about being taboo, and I was like, oh my God, you guys, you need to put this away.
So then why not just do the whole Smash thing? Because both things are, look, if there's something sad and blue, you know, there are so many songs from Smash that could match the first section, and then they go into the Smash song because it fits the pattern. It's just so strange. So strange
Yeah.
the way that they have these misses in both programs. And are they just getting mad at people who give feedback?
Just slice in Goodbye Norma Jean from Elton John, and she can just be dead Marilyn at the end. That'll be.
God. I mean, it's
Total
a rough
twist.
watch, Jonathan. It's
Yeah.
a rough one. So I don't know what kind of program to give them the next season, because it's strange, but I do think it's going to be hard for them to get on the podium at the World Championships. This was a big loss, and I think they know it, and I think that's what...
Well, because I think, and now let's see who decides to do what. If they go to 4 continents, if they choose not to go to 4 continents, because I could foresee 4 continents, like, really just making it no question.
Well, what will happen there? They're against Piper and Paul, who they can beat, but they can also lose to.
Right.
And then losing to Chock and Bates again. Now, maybe they'll be super motivated and be like, we're going to beat them. But it's getting dicey, I think. And then will everyone stay in the same training center? You never know what's going to happen next. Because now things are shifting. There's all sorts of tension that comes when that happens. So, but then it's like, where do you go? Although they call it Marina Zueva, right? I mean...
Well, but what Marina could do for them is really see what they have to offer and maximize it. I mean, I still think whether Tarasova and Morozov have been able to deliver on the change Marina was trying to give them, she did give them the right kind of direction.
But she doesn't have enough teams for the training atmosphere, but maybe... Right. I mean, you never know. Someone's going to make a move, or could make a move at any moment.
Yeah.
Because
but again, I think at one point, at least it's encouraging that they're not missing in the same way every time. Like when we see, again, like Amber Glenn kind of make a miss in the material again because it's more sad ladies singing, like you're kind of like, oh my gosh, can you do something else? They are doing something else. It just wasn't the right move.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows what they'll do, but it's a strange situation that's coming, because it's like, are they almost like boxed in, and like you can't, if you leave Montreal, are you against the tough competition? And then they have romantic entanglements there, so there's a lot happening in that situation. It's very complex, but
unless they went to Julien.
But I mean, the whole situation, like their material, 2 years in a row of material that hasn't suited them, and what has the problem been?
But you were saying, like, someone like Renee Roca could totally do something. I think it just needs an outside assessment.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And a lot of these teams, that does happen. Look, Tessa and Scott had outside influences. Gabby and Guillaume brought in Christopher Dean. I mean, these kinds of things help.
They seem amenable to it, and I think maybe they're ready to try that.
Yeah, I think that might be another thing to go for. Because I don't know that Marina is going to have the artistic answer for them, but she may have the amount of emotional energy to spend on them
to help them figure it out. Yeah.
So,
because it would be such a waste for this team to just go kind of back to where they were, which is just sort of under everybody else, because they are very special. But
yes.
I just want to see them showcase.
And the politics are getting dirty, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. But
yes, we will.
I did a video on it. So. Anyway.
You did a preemptive video even. That's what was so amazing about it.
It was midway through. I knew what was happening. Okay.
I mean, you've known what was happening. Yeah. Last year, we saw the beginnings of this, but...
Oh, come on. There wasn't going to be a response after what happened at the final. I mean, come on. That was bold. So...
And then every Virtue and Moyer fan being like, good. I'm glad this is happening. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
All right. We'll talk about it tomorrow. A lot of feelings about it. Okay. So... pair event. Okay. Alexa and Chris, great short program.
Great. And I know, like, whatever you may feel about it, I loved watching that response from her.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Listen, they've had a rough couple of years.
And it told me she still wants it.
She does, and he's getting there, but...
But it was even funny, the kids would cry when she stood up after she realized she won. Again, huge... And I loved seeing her crave it again. Like, yes. That was the Alexa we all fell in love with. And then Chris is like, well, I guess I'll stand up too. Like, he literally said that.
Well, that has to be hard for him because he did not have his best performance in
Certainly
freestyle.
not. Yeah. No.
I mean, that was not his best day. So, and he pulled it out in the short, and you would hope then you at least do one of them in the free, but it didn't happen. So that's kind of a weird way, but I have to say for her, they've struggled with the throws all year, and they did sort them out before they got here.
And you called it. You said if they just hone in on the throws and get them, they'll be fine. Mm-hmm. And sure enough,
they honed them in. She held that one, and then she did a back outside three out of it, and I was like, "You go, Alexa." Okay.
She knew.
Yes, and then they added.
And she almost got celebratory, but then she calmed down before the death spiral. She wasn't making that mistake again. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Cain and LeDuc, the death spiral thing was fascinating to happen. The way he just rocked on the foot. And a mistake that we don't see very often from people, and that it was so slight. But when you see it did happen. And a tough call. A call that you wouldn't necessarily expect to happen at Nationals.
That didn't have to happen. But if you were, again, we've got a large group of people that, even though they're very different in their qualities, they kind of get clumped together in the same bowl because nobody's super reliable. So
But with Ashley Cain, I'm confused about what's happening on the throw. We had friends that were at the practice and their throw lets is sorted out. But then in the competition...
Is it that it's too high? To my eye, it just seems like she gets too much height in the moment and can't control the landing.
But then I can't ever trust people when they tell us about skating, because then Christopher Schumann said that Tara's triple Salchow wasn't pre-rotated anymore. And I was like, are we looking at the same thing?
Well, was he there in person?
Yes. And I was like, maybe
harder to see that in person, of course.
I know, but we need a video lesson on what is happening on her.
Okay.
You were not at the right angle. I don't know where your front row seats were this year.
Okay.
But I'm concerned. This is a built-in technique at this point. But yeah, I thought that Alexa and Chris, I wish that he had landed those jumps. But I hope at the Worlds, more time with Raphael pulls this out, because they must feel a sense of a relief to get back there, because I was worried if they didn't make the world team, I was wondering if this would be the end, because their funding was cut, they're already coaching 1 million hours, they had to sell a bunch of stuff, and to lose so much confidence after so much bad things happening. You start to wonder, do you throw, when do you throw in the towel? When is it? But it does seem they are.
And again, this could be very motivating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I am intrigued to see, should they choose to take a Four Continents invite or not? I am inclined to agree with you that
they added some cool things to the free. They did that cool move in the choreographic sequence that was added in. I still do love that.
When they stop, and he really is committing to it. Because I watched him, because she is so incredible. She just gets it top to bottom. It's so amazing. But it's nice to see him making the effort. It still can't be as amazing as her, but it's a notable effort, and I appreciate it. In general, for me, the long doesn't really land. It's too much. When it's just one piece of music like that and it just kind of goes, it's monotonous. And it's a long time to be in one vibe.
Well, Alexa and I once had a big debate about music, so I don't want to upset the beast.
Right.
But
That's right. I recall that.
You were there.
I was.
But
I was there when they ended up taking your advice anyway.
That's true.
Yeah.
I do think I like the free, but I think we're hearing that music a lot. I've always liked that music better with the circles part in it. But I like Anadi. In general, I think the program works. I don't think it'll be the highlight free program of their career.
Well, it's just any program that's going to be the same level. In the same way I was saying,
dress
I
is so good it makes
Hubbell
up for it.
Hubbell and Donohue's was the same level. It was a bigger level, but it also stayed at one level the whole time. It just becomes too wearing as an audience member, I find.
Well, I like the dress. I like the costume.
Gorgeous. I think one of the best dressed ladies of the whole
The
season.
lifts are good. The death bar is good.
Mm-hmm.
The twist is great. Land those damn jumps. You know, I mean, and they will place well at the World Championships.
Yeah.
So
their quality is still clearly when everybody's hitting.
Yes.
That's the thing that they're the ones that have that sparkle.
Although, because they were clearly like the top, how good to now they were beaten in the free by their training partners. And that seems like it's been a very friendly environment, but maybe that's going to be a motivating environment. And how interesting.
They were beat in the free because, I mean, Chris fell and they both dealt. Do you know what I mean? They allowed that to happen in a way versus them being overscored.
But, you know, Jessica and Brian do have potential. They have good qualities. And if they can become a consistent team and get a real style and get
him with that wackadoodle sow, I mean, he's got an issue too. So
I know. Are they working with Ralph on jumps? We don't know, but should they? I mean, he's right there, so commit to it. So I'm curious. We haven't heard their training schedule and what they're doing with their technical elements, but because they haven't been the most reliable jumpers, either one of them. So,
but great lifters. Again, whatever's happening with the lifts there, especially after Danny and Tara, again, the lifts are almost great, but not. And then, again, Ashley and Tim, it's a struggle for me, their lifts.
Now, are you fascinated by Jessica Calalang? Because she was talking him through that entire free skate. She was Alexa-ing that program.
Yeah.
But even more intense.
It's rubbing off on her, maybe, but it worked.
She was looking him dead in those eyes, talking him through that program, and the camera got it the whole time. I was fascinated by her, by the whole thing. Him in those pants.
Oh, the short program.
The short program pants. And then the free program pants, too. He has them in 2 colors now.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, well, you know how it is. When you have something that looks good, you just buy it in every color.
I do that. Okay. Yeah. So, a bit fascinating. But, yeah, Tara and Danny, where do you think they go from here? Do you think they go back to gym? Do you think they...
Well, they have got to go back to Shaylin. Mm-hmm. No question to me. I mean, that was... And the thing that still gets everybody so excited is that transition into their throw, you know, where he, like, puts her upside down and stuff, which I first remember from Black Swan, but maybe they were doing it before then.
Is Delilah's packaging just real boring? Like, is that...
And the outfits are dreadful. And what I felt about the short program one, that they're trying to mute Danny. Mm-hmm. Because it is so...
She said that in an article that she wanted Tara to shine in the short. She thought the other one showed off Danny too much. I was like, Jonathan's not going to like that.
No, because, we have someone who's great and someone who's, in my opinion, mediocre. So you want to try to show more of that and make this one come down?
But maybe psychologically she wanted to make Tara feel more confident.
Well, I don't know what game we're playing then.
I don't.
She doesn't strike me as a woman who's looking to empower other women, so I don't know what that...
As Ramona would say, you don't support other women. Anyway, if you watch The Housewives of New York, you would get that. But
no, but I get the sentiment. I've heard.
And Haven and Brandon, just not there.
Tough. Because again, that material, recycled or not, is wonderful. But, and again, talk about a program that it built as if they had a nationals moment, and they did not. Mm-hmm. And the audience even responded as if they had just seen a clean program, even though they definitely had not.
Yeah. And tough for them to be on the short end of the stick here, you know, within the top.
I mean, I felt they were definitely given a gift last year, and maybe that gift they didn't feel like giving again. And it's tough. I don't know if this is another unfortunate story to come out of that training camp, if everything just got messed up. But I really, in the same way we saw Alexa and Chris kind of be rejuvenated here, mm-hmm. I thought maybe the Grand Prix was going to do that for them. But maybe there was too much time between the Grand Prix.
Was it a fluke? There was like so much fluky juju happening.
Well, but it was twice.
And Kevin Amos too. And Kevin Amos wonk technique to begin with, and then we'll talk about that.
Yes, yes, exactly.
So I don't know. Maybe the vibe did, get it. But Mervyn and Olivia, interesting. He landed his side-by-side triple flip, and she didn't. And the free, and it was gorgeous. He is so talented and stunning.
Yes. Yeah.
She had several falls last year on the lifts. When they were learning, and I know he had concussions. To me, she looks very insecure and afraid in the lifts still, and her positions are not there yet, and they have to, because they're still what's missing to making them. They did do a clean triple twist, and that was very commendable, but to really take it to the next level, they have got to figure out the lifts and really kind of fall in love with them over the summer. They have got to come up with positions and confidence.
But you just said it, fall in love with it. Like, to the point where she's not only not dreading it, but she's excited to show off what she's got coming up. Yeah, and that would change a lot.
If they need to do the partner yoga, like Camille and Drew were doing, when they were doing stuff off the ice, just getting really comfortable being lifted and the positions and something, because they can do the jump elements, and they need just a little, obviously, better music for the free, but they have a nice quality, and now it's time to take it up a notch, because there is potential. They have nice quality. There are nice.
But it's time to make a move.
It's time to make a move.
Yeah, because I even consider that all the clumps we're talking about, even though many of them are not up to their former standards. Mm-hmm. I still view them kind of over here.
But if they get better lifts and land their jumps, they could compete. I mean, Haven and Brandon make mistakes. Audrey and Misha, they're someone that Olivia Mervin could beat, and they can start climbing. Especially in the next 2-3 years, they can start to climb.
Making a move.
So, and I wouldn't say that these Olympics are their end-all, be-all for this team. I would say keep on trucking, because... Okay. If she can get the lifts, they got to fall in love with the lifts, though.
Well, because I think after this Olympics, I mean, we're going to see all those top 5 people. Well, maybe except for Jessica and Brian. Everyone will clear out.
Unless, who knows if Ashley Cain will go forever. You don't know. Okay. She may be part Aliona, too. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
She is liking her moment in the sun, honey. Okay, is there. But yeah, I would think that it would be interesting to see Olivia and Mervin. But they got to fall in love with the positions. And you know what? They're near Hackensack. They can go visit a lot of people that are good at dance lifts and other things. There are people around in the area. So, and choreography with the music, they've got to get like a really good program.
Step it up, yeah.
They were like a nice team, but it was not the most interesting energy. But they're like a pleasant, nice team with nice qualities. And he was skating with some back problems here that they really walked him through. So... yeah, that was... But I have to say, the stuff that they did, I mean, his triple flip, it was beautiful. I was like, Mervin, okay?
Well, I think we even saw him warm it up at Chelsea Piers.
He did, and then he missed it in the program, right? But he did do it. But when he nailed that...
Yeah, it's exciting.
Is capable. Okay, we never saw that stuff with Marissa. They were... I mean, this team has more of a simpatico than he ever had with Marissa. Now, it made it exciting to watch him and Marissa, but for all the wrong reasons. We were watching it.
Not in ways that were good for anyone, really.
We were watching that like a reality show. We were not invested in them as a competitive team. I wanted what was going to happen. So,
well, we were the first 2 seconds, and then not afterwards.
Oh my God! I mean, legend. I once saw them. I had this run through of them when I visited Montreal, and they missed every element in the program. Like, I can't even new ways of missing things.
And both talented, both incredibly talented. It
was just not happening. The vibe was off. Okay.
Yeah.
So, anyway, and that one team from Chelsea Piers that was actually at the Nationals this year, I wasn't sure. Like, they make a lot of errors every time when we see them in Chelsea Piers. They have some of the scariest falls, but they did okay here. It was all right. All right. So, what are we thinking about
the men's?
Okay. Nathan Chen.
Good event. I enjoyed watching this. Someone said a weird thing. They were like, "How does Jonathan think that there was depth in the Canadian event?" And I was like, "Because I enjoyed watching all of them, and it, I don't know, I really enjoyed that." And same here. This was a very enjoyable group of men, each with distinctive styles. And the ones that didn't do great didn't totally implode.
Interesting to me that Torgashev and Camden are still like
On the
middling
cusp.
together, right? Like they are in this.
Well, Torgashev is upper middle. And I think Camden is solidifying a middle.
For Camden to lose to Krasnozhan, I mean, that's rough. I think Camden is better than Krasnozhan.
Yeah,
Just
but I don't know
skating
if it's a
skills.
focus thing for Camden or what it is, because it was literally almost like every other element for a while there. Like it was.
He
a
lets
bit
it get sloppy. And
Yeah.
I really think that's the training. The spins are not great. He has the landing, and then it gets sloppy sometimes, and just the refinement is not where it should be for Camden, because he is very capable.
And again, a lot of self-doubt or insecurity or nerves, I would think, is thinking you aren't good enough. But again, a message was clearly given in Canada. At Skate Canada, you are good enough and we are ready for you should you decide to show up.
I know.
And then it didn't seem to inspire.
Isn't it weird that they have basically the National Training Center in Colorado Springs, and it seems like it's overloaded with people. They don't skate their programs big and full out ever.
It seems to be the weakest center.
It seems like where you go to, I don't know,
Middle.
get burned out in middle, right? Like
Yeah.
it seems like there are always too many skaters on the ice. No one skates their program with big, expansive energy, because I don't think any of those coaches at that rink specialize in that sort of a thing.
Or encourage an individual.
No.
Do you know what I mean? But if it's just like factory-y.
Let's write down how many jumps you landed, but
Whereas where like something like what Marie France has going on, it could seem like a factory, but they have done a good job of maintaining each individual identity. Like it's not all glomming and looking exactly the same, but that is definitely happening in Colorado in a distressing way. And I don't know if because some of these guys, they think that like 6th, 5th, like these places at nationals are great, but Torgashev, you were up there. If you delivered clean, they would have absolutely had.
there's an official like middling section now. Torgashev, Krasnozhan, Pulkinen in a row, and these are people that I would clump together in a discussion.
100%.
Tomoki, earlier in the season, always is clumped
Same.
with these skaters. He tends to show up at nationals for whatever reason.
Yeah.
He
But
gets
again, you know who it was? It reminds me of when it was Ricky Dornbush and Stephen Carrier, and there's
Ross
always
Minor.
But even they had medals. You know, and Krasnozhan, not Krasnozhan, Torgashev. It's like I wonder if you understand. They're gonna give you a third if you show up. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
You just got to take it.
Torgashev, I was glad that Johnny called out his triple axel technique, because that thing is so rough.
What is that?
And how good is Christy Kroll? She's known as this dartfish jump guru, but whose jumps have we really... I guess Patrick.
Patrick had them.
Well, he
already.
did get the good quad, and I guess the triple axel got better with her. So, but how much of that was Patrick being brilliant? And she can only do so much. That's very true. But we have all these jump gurus there, and why can no one fix Torgashev's axel? Is Mitch not calling someone to give a Tom? Can you fix this? I don't know. That's a very unsettling triple axel to me. He does have the goods on the other jumps. Vincent Zhou.
I was impressed, Dave. I have to be honest. And he's not one I give a benefit of the doubt to or am like a favorite of necessarily. And his skating at times has been rather difficult for me to sit through. But I enjoyed the narrative here. There was something a little bit different about him, and I'm not trying to be like a cheesy Ted Barton commentator right now, but like if maybe he actually felt that pause refreshed, reset, and brought back like a healthier attitude. Like the program, I think, was certainly the most enjoyable thing I've seen him do yet.
And not seeing a million under-rotated quads that we're then going to debate whether or not they're really rotated. It was very refreshing.
The was excellent, I thought.
Yes.
I thought it was well prepared. It was this beautiful hoist from the legs and a nice, clean, checked landing. I was very impressed.
Now, he looked exhausted as he was going through that program, and he kept fighting and doing those jumps, so I was impressed by that.
But I think that's who he is. Like that, I don't think he's ever going to be a popper, giver-upper. And this is what he was able to do in what seems like a quasi-short amount of time, which is why I do believe moving forward for the Worlds, he could be a very viable option.
Even if he just adds another quad sow or a quad sow and a quad toe.
Which I felt very confident he'd be able to do. Even just with 2 beautiful quad sows, he'll be there.
Now, I do think that Tomoki is very talented. There are some things he needs to work on. The packaging, the face.
Oh my gosh, it's like, which is so funny because while he's got no face, like he's about to fall asleep, he has these huge open arms and expansive chest and tall posturing, and it's very confusing.
Did Tom Dixon do his free program this year? Because it thinks like it looks just way too intellectualized for me. But
see, I don't even think it's intellectual. I just think it's.
Don't you think that Tom has some interesting artistic ideas? Sometimes, I mean, he is making Rika, like uniting all world religions together, like going over the head, Tom.
Yeah,
okay?
Exactly. But how does it look?
Sometimes Tom hits it brilliant, and sometimes he reminds me of like an academic professor, where you're like.
But this doesn't even seem like it was a lofty concept that we're not grasping. It just seems kind of phoned in a way.
Well,
generically Arlecchino or something, like, and the costume, it was like a clown attacked Johnny Weir outfit.
It does remind me of the Johnny Weir Camille outfit.
Yeah, right. But except as it's being attacked by
which I don't hate, but Tomoki doesn't seem like that kind of a queen. Like I just like
no.
It takes a certain kind of girl to pull off that outfit. Okay,
he wants one of those more like athletic driven, bodysuity type of things because of his nice open arms and chest and stuff. Like, play that up. Don't fight it with all this extra stuff that's not him. He's not doing that, so why is the costume?
And the short costume is weird too.
Yeah, it doesn't really work, does it?
No, and the shirt, like, it doesn't fit right, and the colors and the.
But this was a big missed opportunity for him this fall, because he was right there between nationals and 4 continents last year. I think everyone was really on board, and he would be almost a no-brainer world team selection if he had done better. But I might still be inclined to send Vincent.
I know.
That's what my gut is telling me.
When Bobek was the bronze medalist and we didn't take her, she withdrew from the competition and was like, he at least showed up, did his job. I'm feeling forgiving. But I do want to give Tomoki 4 continents again, and I do want to encourage Tomoki, but we have got to have like a group discussion about packaging with Bradie and with Tomoki, and maybe Susan Kittenplin from Skating Club in New York is not the packaging guru. I mean, she made Deanna go blonde. She hasn't gotten the message through.
The things
to Bradie.
We've heard about, like, things that are happening, it just doesn't.
I don't know. Like, maybe we need other options for people. I don't know and Jason's hair is really growing out again. It's unsettling to me, but I would love someone to love me as much as Tracy Wilson loves him. I don't feel that.
And someone said something,
love.
They were like, how come Brian isn't there? And I was like, I think he's doing better because Brian isn't there. It is very clear he responds to female authority figures.
I think Tracy and Karen Preston do the majority of the work. So
I think they have a great rapport, and he skates beautifully when it's just him and Tracy.
Oh, and your Tracy, my Tracy, she was like, Jason,
you're special.
You're special. Her things, like,
she's an ice dancer through and through. Like,
she's just in love with him.
It.
She's just in love with him. Like,
because I think he stands for everything in the same way. You know, it was interesting hearing Tanith and Charlie do the commentating on NBC Gold. It's just, I love the ice dancer's point of view because actually more often than not, it's more aligns with mine than not. So,
yes.
Except for Tanya, maybe.
Oh my God. I do love his extension, the way he gives every movement plus 5 GOE. Like, I get it.
I'm going to tell you, he was telling me more of a story in this free skate than he ever has before. Because again, like we've discussed, like, everyone thinks that his Schindler's List is okay because he marks a box that says, I'm Jewish, so I'm allowed. But
Except for Gabby Palich, who's an adult skater that thinks he's doing hunger pains and that even he's Jewish, it's offensive. But I'm like, he could be having pain for all of humanity, Gabby. It doesn't have to be pain from hunger.
Stop micromanaging this. Do you know what I mean?
Listen, she's cooking with her rabbi every day, okay? And like, she does. They live in the same building. But I do love her. But I think Jason has more pain than just physical hunger. I think that this is like pain. But
yes,
I have to say,
think it's angst. Yeah.
Do you remember we used to have the conversation about whether or not, I don't know if this was the Jenny days, but about how Joshua Ferris was an artist and Jason is more of a performer?
Yes. Yeah, because I find this in great performances, opera, theater, whatever. There is someone who is going to show you what sad looks like, and there is someone who is actually going to feel sad and make you feel sad.
And Joshua's is more emotional to me, and he's not the Jew. And I have to tell you,
because it was more in tune with an overall emotion. But I have to tell you, we were talking about Jason being able to hit the beautiful positions. Could he tell the story? And my response to it in the fall was, I'm getting a beautifully skated program with very elegant choreography. This one I felt was more emotional than he's been in the past.
But is Satoko being more Jewy during the program? Is she giving you more of the Schindler's List vibes, Jonathan? I love her program more. I love the Schindler's List. Gabby, taste. I'm sorry, but I even was thinking in the shower today about my program for next year in silver, and I was thinking, do I do Schindler's List?
Just to spite her.
Oh my goodness.
You gotta turn it all around. You're gonna do Fiddler on the Roof instead.
No way. What am I, the Zaretsky's? No way. Okay.
Okay.
I could do Papa. Papa, can you hear me?
Oh my God, he's saying.
I'm sorry.
Wait, that's what Kanako Murakami. No, what was her name? She was the third Japanese female skater in 2014, and she won that 4 continents. Murakami. No.
No, who knows? Who cares?
You do know, because she was skating to Papa Can You Hear Me and a Yentl medley, yet she had a sparkly blue cross on her dress.
Oh, yes.
I was like, oh, no. Oh, gosh.
The times we've had, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Because it was Mao, it was Akiko, and it was...
You know, everyone's going to write it in the comments. I'm going to have to write Million Bank.
Bring it back. Go look up her Yentl program where she's skating with a giant cross.
But I think now that we can have lyrics, you could have Barbara talking in the beginning. And that is really the ultimate.
That's right. Yes. A nice monologue.
I mean, yes, that's what it needs. Okay. But Jason, I do like the program, but I just think we've had more emotional Schindler's List. Okay.
I agree with you.
Why do the non-Jews feel it more? Okay. Sometimes the Jonathan Cassar, Joshua Ferris types, they have more feeling. Okay. Satoko, they have more...
It's more emotive in a way than beautiful. Yeah.
When Jeremy did his Holocaust program, Life is Beautiful, that was beautiful too. Only at the NHK was it beautiful. Every other time it was a flippin' mess. But it was gorgeous at the NHK Trophy in 2010. I know. Yeah. These programs, I love a Holocaust number. I do. I was reading the article about the 2 people that fell in love in the New York Times. Great article. A woman that fell in love with a man. She had elevated status in the camp. They fell in love. She saved his life 5 times. They met up like 70 years later. Oh my goodness. I don't know why.
Oh, I do remember that story. Yeah.
It was beautiful in the New York Times. If you check it out, it was like Auschwitz. It was timed for the 75th anniversary of the liberation. But it was a great article, great piece. But anyway, I don't know. I loved the Jason program. But I have to say, when you watch Jason and extend and give everything, when we watch Nathan do his thing, I don't get into it the way that I should be, Jonathan. And I like Nathan. I think Nathan is a tremendous athlete.
I agree with you 100%. And we've talked about this where we'll say, when you're introducing someone to skating, when someone says, oh, I want to watch skating with you, show me something that you like. Anytime Nathan comes up, it falls flat. Even though there's an appreciation clearly. I mean, that quad flip at this event, especially in the short program.
The costume is so distracting in both programs.
It does no one any favors. It doesn't make any sense. But it's not as magical somehow. But you can't deny it. He's not just an athlete. I do own that he does know how to move. He is not just a jumper. I firmly believe that. But something about it just doesn't.
The last 2 years' programs, he's capable of having wonderful extension. That Mao's Last Dancer program, I would like to see him work with Lori again. And
that work sequence was great.
I mean, the footwork sequence for this is great too, but it's great in a way where I think Nathan is capable of more. He's brought the charisma. We know he can get down, but I want to see him do something maybe more profound.
That's a bit shtick, and I want to see he is capable of more substance.
I think it's a shtick so that he has enough time and energy to land the jumps, but even his air position, it's great, but it's not the most beautiful, right? Like, I think Hanyu's jumps are more beautiful than Nathan's, but Nathan can go... I appreciate how Nathan can go out there and slay and nail it.
Yeah.
And
it seems to me the most mentally healthy skater, around. No one knows what's happening behind closed doors, but there just seems to be a perspective about what he's doing. And I don't know, there's something really nice about his approach.
Now, his short was great. It was really great. The costumes look sloppy, and it brings out this, like, the oversized shirt just emphasizes like a sloppiness to the skating to me that sometimes can happen.
He's more sloppy than he's skating, though, I think, even because there are moments where he wants to roll his shoulders. Like, I think it's probably a very cool opening pose, but when he starts all schleppy and the shirt is schleppy, I just get kind of disheveled mess.
I know. And what about when Vera Wang does those nice, boring black and white costumes, he looks so much better.
Because these aren't Vera shirts.
No, they are.
They are?
I know. And then I made a joke about Vera in another show, and then I was getting angry messages from a Vera fan. Like, it was just, oh, God. I mean, these shirts are not my cup of tea. I think they're
not anyone's. And I showed some fashion people, and they were like, that's...
Oh, I don't think Ludwig would like them at all. Okay.
It's not a Carolina Herrera type of outfit.
I love Carolina. Okay. Anyway, things that I also loved. Avon Lee Nguyen and Vadim Kolesnik winning. I love that Igor continues to recycle free dances because that was a Madison Chock. Evan Bates free dance.
What you know.
Interesting that he brought back a free dance. Like a music that they lost to the Shibutanis doing back then. But Avon Lee and Vadim do it very well.
So immensely talented.
But Isabeau Levito, she is really the bee's knees. I have to say, she is amazing.
And now, again, just to reiterate, this is the silver medalist from the junior.
Not the winner. The winner is from the Ice House. But she doesn't have that same je ne sais quoi for me. So.
And the packaging of the winner was very offensive.
She's a local girl, Jonathan. I want to live. You know that town mom that lives close.
So I'll leave it at that. Now, Ms. Levito, when she had to restart her music, The Fierceness, when they started playing not Malagueña or whatever, she just like skated right over to that referee and was like,
She was channeling Sasha Cohen, okay?
Yeah, she was. She really was, to the best of her capability.
I want the full... Is this like, why is her name Isabeau? What is her backstory? And I don't want it in the comments. I want like a good Lynn Rutherford article about it, okay?
Amazing. No, but she had some fun jumps and things like that. She is one where she is of such a young shape to her body. How do I say this?
She's very young.
She's very young, and it was a kind of jumping that makes me wonder how it ages.
Well, we will see. I thought that Mia Kaelin was also talent. There are different talents that kind of stand out in different stages of development in the junior ladies. I was so sad that David Shapiro had that groin injury because he had a
beautiful skater.
I know, and Joe Klein didn't have a great nationals and was so upset. And
because he's also an incredible skater. It's some of my favorites. Yeah.
No, Eric Schoberg has really improved since I remember watching him 2 years ago against Camden and thinking how much better he is now. But Raphael, when your skater doesn't do their triple loop and they do a double. And I get that you're upset and that he should be landing it and he's going for junior world team and everything. But there was like an icy silence. And then Eric is like holding this stuffed animal. By the way, Eric has the greatest eyebrows, maybe most pronounced, maybe ever.
Oh, I'm going to disagree that they're great, but they are definitely
Jonathan,
pronounced.
he's like young, okay? Just be nice, okay? They are pronounced.
Well, but then just own yours. I feel like he's like coloring them in with like a permanent marker or something.
I don't know. They stand out. I'm
if you are doing something to add to them, you don't have to do that. And in fact,
they have a wonderful shape to them, okay?
Okay.
They have a great shape. He's got good skin, great hair. I'm just fascinated. But when he was like holding the stuffed animal and Raph is like sitting, man spreading, feet away, not even looking at him or talking, like, maybe we could put on...
Not even dressed for the event. He doesn't dress for the junior event, does he?
No, but there's just like a lot of safe sport stuff happening, and maybe Raphael can, modify his behavior, or maybe send Nadia to the event. Eric's mother might not like it, but maybe it just looks better. Maybe they will be...
Maybe Eric feels better afterwards.
Be more positive. He did a great long program. He's, his jumps look much stronger.
And won the long program,
And his skating looks a lot better. Maxim Naumov of Shishkova and Naumov won the gold. So that was very exciting. He did triple axels, which you get a bonus for in the junior men if you do perform the harder elements. So, and our friend Aaron from Florida, who coaches with John Kerr, and his boy got the pewter here, Lucas Altieri. So...
Because did he win the junior event in Zagreb or something? He's had a pretty good season, Lucas, I think.
Yeah, he did. He is. I'm just making sure he did get the pewter. I'm like, I don't want to...
He did get the pewter.
Good. Okay. I don't want to upset anyone. Oh, and I did like Liam Kapekis. I thought he stood out to me as well. There's a lot of different talents coming up, so... It
was a very artistic crop of junior men.
Yes.
A lot. And you were posting a lot on, the skating lesson stories on Instagram. Like, there were some really real dancers in that group. It was nice to see.
And Jacob Sanchez trains in upstate New York at the rink with Senya Makarov's parents, Selishneva and Makarov. And I posted a clip of him, and everyone in that rink must have messaged to ask if that was him and to let them know that they knew him. He's very popular at his rink.
Well, that's a nice thing to hear.
Very nice. They are representing well. So a lot of people had thoughts on whether or not he should skate to Riverdance. But it was cute. He's itty bitty, and he had a lot of personality.
Yeah, it was sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. But so what was your overall moment of the event, Jonathan Byer?
I'm going to go by discipline. I'm going to be that mundane about it. Because in the pairs, it could be Brian's pants, but I will say it's Alexis's response after the short, because it meant so much, not only to her, but it gave us such insight as to what she really still wants. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was pretty amazing. For the women, for me, I have to go with Mariah's moment, even though it was the moment that wasn't but was, and I was thrilled for her. And just that kind of energy in an arena. Like, have you been in an arena? Like, what's the most intense arena feeling you've been a part of for skating?
Well, 2016 Worlds in Boston when Ashley did win the silver was very intense. And I also thought that the Nationals final in 2016 with Ashley, Gracie, Paulina all skating and, really delivering was quite an intense.
Because I would have said, actually, because we were both there when Jason did Riverdance in Boston.
Yeah, that was very intense too. So.
That was, and when that kind of energy happens in arena, it vibrates, it is insane. And you knew that was happening after Mariah's program, which is
It was like my apartment when Tessa and Scott were doing Moulin Rouge live at the Olympics. I mean, come on, that is, you don't even know, okay?
I don't.
So
I'm teasing. Let's see. For dance, that's a tough call.
Madison Chock, honey. Okay.
Well, I mean, but that's so obvious, and she's been doing that fabulously all season. So I'm going to go with Green and Parsons because I really like their free dance. So I was really glad to see them start to get a bit more appreciation from the judges on that. And then for the men's, I mean, Jason was a moment, but that's the obvious thing.
Jason's short.
Yeah, but I might also say Torgashev short because I just like that it went well for him. And I also meant to ask, are those birds back tattoos or are they part of the mesh on his costume?
I don't know.
So but do you know what I'm talking about? On the back, like it's all black mesh back here, and then there was a series of like flying birds.
I hope those are not tattoos, but I don't.
I would hope that was part of the costume, but then I was like, do you have?
I'm not a tattoo person. I don't want to judge. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Did Gracie have tattoos that she was covering up? Is that what some of the tape was? I wasn't sure. So there was a lot.
Oh, well, it was so discolored, and so I would assume that was an injury tape, wasn't it?
I don't know. I also didn't know.
Who else had it on that was so prominent? Was that Bradie?
I don't know. Bradie had the fake. Bradie had arm, because remember she hurt her elbow.
Yeah, on her arm. Yeah, because then she had like the sheer thing, and then you could see USA or whatever it was written all underneath it. And you know what? I'm going to be weird, and I'm going to say Vincent doing like a really lovely quad style was a really nice moment, and it was nice to see someone come back on their own terms and do as well as he did, and he seemed genuinely thrilled by the outing. So
and I'm excited for him to be so close to Lori so that we can really work on a lot of the stuff before Worlds. Okay, this is going to be positive. But yes.
How about you? Do you have 35 moments of the week, Dave?
Skater Bell was quite the moment, I thought. I felt emotional. Jessica getting emotional. I felt like emotional for her. I was so excited to see them do well. I love intense Alexa. I love angry Alexa. I like intense Alexa. I like feisty Alexa. She's really giving us all of the Ashley Wagner vibes. I liked her putting the cappings on. I'm always fascinated by Alexa. Eyes on the ball. Eye on the ball. And that ball is Alexa Sumeka.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
Always. Okay? She just... I remember when she didn't get it. She was like, "Why do you always talk about Alexa and not Chris?" And I was like, "Well, have you met yourself? I mean, you've got a lot."
You're the force. Yeah, exactly.
It was fascinating.
And they work well together because he couldn't be the same force and go well. I can't imagine.
Mervin's triple flip. I was excited by that. Jason's program, seeing Tracy Wilson. I mean, that's always excitement.
And then the kind of mood she creates for Jason in order to do those beautiful jumps, easy, slowly, confidently, it's nice.
I know, so nice.
Special. It's special.
Well, I don't know what it would be like to skate with Tracy's energy. Would I even respond well to that? I don't know. I think I
have to go back. I have to say, I am not as familiar as I should be with her and Rob skating.
Oh,
I've seen lots of photos of it, but I should go back and watch more videos of it. I think it would be fun to see.
Well, in the ice dance, I did love Madison Chock. And listen, Nguyen and Kolesnik, such a fan. So,
yeah.
And I liked watching all the juniors, ladies and men. I had a fun time. So, It was a great event. So, yes, we want to know, what were your moments of the week? And Jonathan, there was someone that thought that in the safe sport era that we should not say hold an edge and look sexy. So I do have a proposal. I don't know.
But are we talking to fans that are skating?
I mean, obviously my blades even say hold an edge and look sexy on them. But I think that we could also do another one.
Okay.
Do you remember the great Barbara Walters?
Hello? Wait. We be in touch? We'll be in touch? What is it? Hold on.
We're in touch, so you be in touch.
But then you're asking for the messages.
We're in touch, so you be in touch. Hold an edge and look sexy. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.